Play us out.
Play us out. What's that?
Welcome to another episode of Scary Larry's Fan of Horrors video series live stream. I'm John, that's Stu, and that's Freddy Krueger on the bottom of the screen. You know, you guys came and watched us do Friday the 13th.
We came.
Yeah, it came for sure, hard. And watched us do Friday the 13th over the course of the end of 2020 through 2021. But the one thing you guys never get to see is the awesome countdown music that we. They
don't get to see that?
No, I don't think so. Am I right or am I wrong? Do you guys see the
I thought they
music?
did. I thought if you go to the videos on YouTube and you start them at the very beginning, I think
Is
the
it there?
countdown is there.
Wow, all right.
I love the countdown music. That's why I'm always dancing at the intro.
It's so hype. It's so hype.
I can't real life dance. I can't dance at the club, but I can dance real good in a chair, man.
Oh yeah, chair dancing.
My feet don't have to do nothing.
Larry, is that your friend? Is that your friend Freddy Krueger?
Yep. and this is God.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. By the way, the guy that Larry's holding is Nancy's boyfriend now. So
Nancy's boyfriend.
Hello, Holly, Eve, Lindsay. Hello, everybody. We're back. We're about 10 months late. We talked about this a lot. Facebook memories pop up on my Pine of Comics page, and the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. We did that show on March 30th of last year. So
really?
Now we're a year later. We did have like a special in between. Remember, we had
Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone in like November. But yeah, this is like a year later. So we had talked about it, and Larry had picked this, I think, so long ago. What
as a joke, I think it's a joke, and you ran with it.
Yeah, and said, well, let's do the Nightmare series. Which, admittedly, Larry, right? Larry's going to play with that fucking doll this whole time.
Yeah,
this whole time.
Yep.
Larry, you admittedly had said at some point a long time ago that you're not even a huge fan of the Nightmare series, right? Like, as a horror guy, It's not really your thing.
What did you say?
What did you say, bitch?
That's my Freddy Krueger voice. No, I'm not. I'm a fan of a few of them, but as a whole, no, I'm not a fan of the franchise.
All right, Stu, big fan. How do you feel about it?
Some are better than others. There's a huge discrepancy in quality in the Nightmare movies, man. Like, there's 3 really good ones, and then there's however many the rest are really bad.
Shut the fuck up, Stu.
I agree.
I'll stop that. Sorry.
Oh no, I agree. I think it goes from I think it's very much like Friday the 13th. The first episode that we did of Friday the 13th was a little bit more well, we had fun with it, but the first Friday the 13th is like a serious slasher movie, and then they kind of get goofier as you go along. Nightmare on Elm Street, as we're going to talk about here, it's like a fucking horror movie, man. It's a scary movie. There's some really fucking frightening imagery and stuff happening in it. And then by part 3 or 4, he's making people into pizzas. You know, so it certainly does kind of go on a slightly. Larry, is that a pop? That's not a pop vinyl. What is that?
No, that's a plush animal.
That's just a plush. It's a plushie.
Just a plushie?
A plushie.
Just a plushie? All right.
He can twerk.
Now, before we get into anything, we got to talk about you guys and your stuff. We'll end it with that too, but I think it's important. Stu, everybody out there should already check it out if you don't know enough about Pop-Tarts or Sailor Moon or awesome comic book movies. You got to go to swoproductions.com. That's Stu's website. He does all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm a big fan. This week, he just had his 1-year anniversary podcast episode that I was a part of. And going forward, Stu, what's the new format in terms of releases?
About me? Jesus
Christ. It was all people who'd been on the show twice in the first year.
2 times. Well, listen, Larry, I will say this. I asked Stu one time, talking to him, what did you think your favorite episode of your show was so far? And he did say to me, 300 with Larry. He did say that. And I was on 2.
Favorite episode so far.
I was on 2, and the motherfucker didn't include me in either. So
I don't blame him, frankly. I don't blame him.
I did not bring my all to Thor. I know that's because that movie's just not good. So
How could you possibly?
yeah,
It's such a bad movie.
it's not good.
I
It's not
wanted so much to love that movie. I really did.
Really?
I wanted to like it. I like.
I think
I like
everybody
the comic books, but it was so fucking boring.
Yeah,
I was just like, holy shit, this
it's
is
just
bad.
2 hours of Thor like drinking coffee and slamming down to the mug. So Stu, what do you have? Stu on the twos. What's that all about?
Stu on the Twos podcast will be coming out on the 2nd, the 12th, and the 22nd from now until the end of time. I don't know. It previously was out on the 1st and 15th of every month. Now it's coming out 3 times a month. I'm like, 50% less lazy now.
All right.
So
all right.
it was like welfare checks. The first
It was the 1st and 15th.
Eric
now-
Eric likes Stu's booger vision angle. I think
I don't think I can lower my chair.
Yeah, I think Lou called it the Andre shot. You're always like the camera's always under you, Stu. I kind of like that. All right, so of course, Larry, we can go to a lot of different things. Let's go first and foremost to Connecticut Cult Classics, and there's Freddie again. Larry, you got a show coming up in 2 weeks' time.
2
It's
weeks
sold out, right? A week and a half, the 16th. But why don't you talk about it? Maybe some people, if they didn't get tickets, they could show up. Sometimes they're available at the door, all that good stuff.
I've never once had to turn anybody away. It's never happened.
There you go.
But I do set a limit, especially during. I mean, listen, is it COVID times? I guess it still is. So I set a ticket limit, and we hit it. But there will be tickets available at the door. It's April 16th at the Strand in Seymour. Killer Clowns from Outer Space and The Blob. 2 films from 1988. 12 trailers from 1988. And about 25 songs from 1988. Will all be featured that evening. And also Eric from Weirdo Wonderland will be set up at the theater with tons and tons of merch to sell. Most of it, I believe, Killer Clowns related. And then we'll have plenty of raffles and giveaways. Actually, the pins that we have for the show probably can't see very well, but designed by John from Shocking Things podcast. Shameless plug for John there.
Great podcast.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. Come out. There will still be tickets available at the door. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
All right.
I missed all of that. Larry, say that all again because I was figuring out how to lift my table so people weren't looking up my nose.
You're going to have to watch it. You're going to have to watch
What did you say?
All right. And Holly has a good point. We'll figure it out this season during Nightmare on Elm Street. We need new food for Stu to try. We have to find a food that he's not aware of, like corned beef, something along those lines.
I don't know what I don't know, so it's hard for me to...
Yeah, you find something Stu's never heard of, like pastrami.
I'd heard of it. I'd never heard of the corned beef. I didn't trust that at all.
Maybe shepherd's pie. Do you know what shepherd's pie is?
I only know shepherd's pie from the episode of Friends.
Oh, Jesus.
That was a trifle.
Yeah, but it's because
she mixed a trifle of shepherd's pie. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
So it has something to do with meat.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
Well, I think Eve is looking forward to the show, to the April 16th show, and Eric has a good suggestion. It's almost Passover. I vote we send Stu a jar of gefilte fish.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know.
How about some haggis? How about we give him some haggis?
Oh yeah. Or head cheese. Head cheese. Yeah.
You like head cheese? You like head cheese, don't you? That's real good. That's good stuff.
Nobody. Oh, that's the Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. I'll tell you a story real quick. I worked with a guy years ago who was like in his 80s, and we used to eat lunch together. And he would have his sandwich, not all the time, but we would sit in the break room if I was having lunch that time, and he was having lunch. We'd chat, and he had a sandwich, and we're both eating our sandwiches. He goes, John, what are you eating? I'm like, I don't know, turkey and cheese. I said, what are you eating? His name was John. I said, what are you eating, John? He goes, head cheese. And I went, ooh. I go, that's a brave choice. I said, you don't hear of a lot of people. He goes, don't tell me what it is. He goes, I love it, but I don't know what it's made of. Oh. I don't want to know. And I'm like, Jesus, I wonder if he knew, if he would stop. Because head cheese is, if you don't know, they throw the head in a boiling bucket and everything just sloughs off. And then it just forms a congealed lump, eyeballs, everything. And then, horrible. No, Eve. I don't know if Stu, you probably don't do tripe. My parents used to do
No.
tripe, and I would run. My parents would tell me, "We're doing tripe tonight, so go out with your friends," because
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with tripe.
Some people love it. My friend Justin loves it. Like, it's just hardcore Italian. Like,
Yeah,
sit there with a bowl of tripe and red sauce. Like,
yeah.
fuck out of
Yeah.
here with that
All right,
mess.
we're
Don't put.
definitely gonna get on that.
I don't do any awful, any intestines, kidneys, liver, lungs. Keep the fucking organs away. I don't need organs.
Totally agree. I totally agree. All right, so we are here to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street. So I figured the first thing we should do before we start getting into it is let's watch the trailer together.
Ooh.
Something. Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. This is something I figured out. So let's get this going here.
John's
Is this even is this legal?
I don't know. I'm doing it.
All right. We're gonna get shut down any second. John Saxon is gonna shut you down.
This logo.
John's finally going to get banned from Facebook forever.
Johnny Depp's gonna come on the screen and just shut it down.
It's like John's 5th Facebook strike.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happen.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I
Saxon.
don't know. The coroner got to say. He's in the jar and puking since he saw it. They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Hungry ass bed.
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right. So that's A Nightmare on Elm Street. What do we get from that, Johnny Depp?
So you know that voice was not. They didn't use Freddy's voice for the phone scene. That was
that
somebody
wasn't
else's voice.
Robert Englund at all.
That was not Robert Englund's voice in
No.
the "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy."
Yeah,
that was a totally different voice they used.
You're right. You're right. It did sound a little weird. Eve, we got to make sure that Stu pregnancy watch this year. It's going to be a little different, I'm sure. And yeah, Eric, introducing Johnny Depp. That scene when Johnny Depp like turns around real quick when they're in the house, he thought he heard Amber Heard, so he's like, "Oh shit." All right, so let's get into it a little bit. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released on November 16th of 1984, written and directed by Wes Craven, who had made, like they said, The Hills Have Eyes, Scream. That he made that cello movie with Meryl Streep many years later, which was weird. I don't you remember that? He just totally went left field and made a movie with Meryl Streep about like concert instruments. Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing wrote Deadly Blessing.
Yep.
I remember
fucking
being with a bunch of
basketball.
people, and we went to the theater to see Red Eye, because he did Red Eye, right?
Yes, he did.
Not
Yeah.
making that up. And we're watching Red Eye, and Red Eye's a perfectly fine movie, and we get out at the end, and like my friends were kind of disappointed, and I said, "Oh, why don't you like the movie? What's wrong?" And they were like, "Oh, I was expecting there to be a big twist or something at the end. Don't all Wes Craven's movies have a big twist?" My friends apparently didn't know the difference between Wes Craven and M. Night Shyamalan.
Close.
Yeah.
It was close. He also did a favorite of mine, which is kind of an unsung movie, People Under the Stairs. I love People Under the Stairs.
I've never seen that.
No, you gotta see that. That's fun, man. And
Patrick,
yeah, Pat's
you're
right.
right.
Swamp Thing's more than pretty good. Swamp Thing's very good.
I rewatched Swamp Thing on Blu-ray. I picked it up a year or so ago. I rewatched it when I had COVID, and that was an HBO movie that was on all the time when I was a
All
kid.
the time.
All the fucking time. And I rewatched it like December, and yeah, it holds up. It's good. It's good. All right. Well, you're on your own for this one. For what, Patrick? You don't like People Under the Stairs? Is that what you're saying? You want to fight Larry? All right. We'll see you April 16th, Patrick. I'll watch this. It was filmed in and around Los Angeles, all over. It began filming.
It wasn't
June
really
11th.
filmed in Ohio with those gorgeous palm trees.
Well, here's the thing.
right
name,
next to Michael Myers' house. And
the original script was set in California. They never say Elm Street in the movie, and I don't think they might not even say Springwood or whatever. That was all
Vales. I don't know something.
Yeah, that was all established in part 2. Because as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, I remember we talked about the fact that this was supposed to take place in Ohio, and we joked in the Jason vs. Freddy episode how Crystal Lake's in New Jersey, and they're just driving next to each other. But
in
then
that reality, Pennsylvania doesn't exist. You just go straight from Ohio to Jersey.
Straight over. And then you get so many fucking palm trees in this movie. There's palm trees everywhere.
Mhm.
This is obviously not supposed to be in Ohio.
And the thing that I was making fun in my notes about Ohio has beautiful palm trees at the cemetery. And then Nancy's mom hops in a car with a California license plate and drives away. And I was like, not trying real hard, movie.
Oh, well.
Yeah. If you're ever out in the California area and you want to see the actual Elm Street house, Nancy's house is at 1428 North Genesee Avenue in Hollywood. And Glenn's house across the street is 1419. So they're actually really right there across the street, 2 real houses, and you can go check them out.
Did they ever get Glenn's blood out of the ceiling?
No, they're still. Well, that's one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
They're still cleaning it up.
I had not seen this movie since you showed it. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, there. So when the car pulls in at the end after Glenn has been killed, and they bring a stretcher, and you hear someone go, "You're not going to need a stretcher. You're going to need a mop." Did you hear that line? It's kind of in the background, and I remember laughing out loud of that as well. Laura says people in Ireland have palm trees in their front yards. That's unexpected. That's weird. We actually in Wallingford, Connecticut, there is a company that in the summertime has 2 palm trees out front, and I guess that they're potted, and they're big palm trees, and then they take them and store them. I'm assuming in the winter because they're gone. It's odd. It's very odd.
Sounds fucking stupid, is what it sounds.
It's definitely weird. That's for sure. Yes, my map to the stars. The boiler room. All the boiler room footage was shot in the basement of the Lincoln Heights jail in Los Angeles. Here comes fucking Freddy again. Here comes Freddy again. Freddy Krueger was a childhood bully.
It's Fred Krueger.
It is Fred Krueger in the actual credits, and I think she says Fred Krueger at one point too. Yeah. Fred Krueger was a bully of Wes Craven,
which is just awesome. Just take ownership of that shit. Like,
he doesn't
bully me. I'm going to make you a murderer.
Well, what's even more awesome, and this is something I never put together because I honestly have never seen Last House on the Left. I've never seen the original, but the bad guy in Last House on the Left is Krug. So that was his original way of
David Hess.
Right, because he's in Swamp Thing as well. But his character is Krug. So you assume that's kind of Wes Craven's way of giving a little minor fuck you to that guy. And then 10, 12 years later, he's like, you know what? I'm just naming a fucking terrible character.
The whole name. This child molester.
Right. Not a molester. That's another thing that I never realized, was that in the original script, it was written as a child molester. Mm-hmm. But studio people were telling Craven that they didn't know if the movie would be able to get made if they made him out to be a molester. So they just went with straight killer, which is better. And there's a line in the movie that I thought was so odd, was when Nancy's mom is finally telling her the story about Freddy Krueger and what happened. She's like, he killed about 20 kids in the neighborhood. First of all, how many kids are in this neighborhood? And second of all, 20 kids in a neighborhood, that's like a fucking war. That's not like that's not like a serial killer. There's a point where you just blow the neighborhood.
That's like a children's hospital exploded. And that's what you would expect to happen.
She says, she's like, he killed about 20 children in the neighborhood. I'm like,
over a course of how long?
Yeah.
You know what it was actually? He just went to the Duggars house and just wiped them out.
Yeah.
It's just one family.
I never understood the 20. I'm like, was anybody looking for him except for the parents? Because you people seem to have found him pretty easily after he killed 20 people.
And I also understand that, look, I get it's a movie. I also understand that there is actual paperwork, is important. But if this guy killed 20 kids, is a signature missing on a search warrant really going to get him off? I have a feeling that it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
again, I don't know. The
Yeah,
original.
what kind of attorney could Fred Krueger afford? He didn't seem like he was wealthy. He wasn't
Yeah.
getting Johnny Cochran in there
He
to
wasn't
see
well
whether
to
that
do.
glove fit or not.
Right.
The glove, by the way, when they show him making the glove in the beginning, if I were to make like a butcher knife murder glove, I would pick a glove that wasn't all holy. Like, you know, when he's putting his fingers through it and it's like the glove is already disintegrated. Just get a good fucking glove, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like start
Like a
with
nice
good one.
nice new work glove, right? Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and steal it if you can't afford it. How many parents with shitty kids took the opportunity to take little Johnny out and blame Freddy, though? Absolutely, probably pretty true. Probably pretty true. Yeah, and Eric also says this was the '80s. People just solved the problem of having another kid. You know.
Sure.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Let's go do it. In the also in the script, the original sweater was supposed to be red and yellow, but he changed it to red and green because he read that red and green are the two most contrasting colors to the human eye, and he felt like it would add like a layer of kind of confusion to the audience. You can't even tell it's green, so I guess I don't know if that worked or not. But damn it, scroll up. What am I doing here? Am I scrolling up? I don't see what I'm here. I'll find it. Give me a second. I'll find it.
You all right?
All right. Yes. I'm getting Holly's saying scroll up. In 2021, last year, this film was preserved by the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for having, culturally, historically, or aesthetically being significant. So there's one. There's the win for Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie basically created New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
Wes Craven was destitute at this point. You know, and when they say that, like every article I'm reading, well, that's what they're saying. They're all saying he. No, they were saying
Wes Craven was eating out of a paper bag on the street corner.
Freddy actually wore Wes Craven's clothes in this film. Like those were his actual street clothes for when he was begging for money.
Well, that's
Wes Craven's good winter glove, John. That was the best winter glove he had.
That's what I was going to say. Was they really play it up? They're like Wes Craven was like at his no money left. He was destitute. He was he needed this hit after Swamp Thing. Because Swamp Thing apparently, I don't know if they didn't pay him enough or it didn't do well enough.
HBO didn't pay him when they showed it 7 times a day.
But I always laugh when I read something about that because it's always like, come on, like how bad does this guy have it off? You know, how bad does this guy have it off?
Yeah, well, New Line, I mean, this was obviously their first huge hit, but they did have one of my favorite horror movies before that. They did Alone in the Dark with Martin Landau and Jack Palance and Donald Pleasance. It's a great, what? Sean Clark put out a YouTube video where he's covered. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, quite possible.
Yeah.
Probably the same neighborhood.
Can I do my Jack Palance imitation for you, Larry?
Yeah, please.
Right, it's from Batman. You ready?
Okay.
Jack, you are my number one guy. That's my Jack Palance. I don't know if that works for you or not, but Jack Palance never seems like he ever said anything that wasn't at that intensity level. Like if he went to a
don't you remember at the Oscars?
Yeah,
when he was like yelling at Billy Crystal, like crap,
doing the push-ups.
Yeah, I start doing push-ups.
I picture him going to like a McDonald's and getting, like, I want a pancake breakfast, 2 sausage, and a Sanka.
Yeah.
Alone in the Dark, Jack Shoulder's directorial debut. He wanted to do Nightmare 2 and The Hidden and a Wishmaster sequel, I think. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much.
Fun facts.
Fun facts with Patrick.
You got to work on some stuff here. Just get a little Patrick to come up.
I gotta get a little fun facts with Patrick. I'm gonna get a Patrick Stuffy made.
You should.
So here's something.
Hold on, I might have one.
You got your Patrick Stuffy?
Yeah.
All right. So here's something that me as a fan, I've always enjoyed this movie, but again, I'm not like the horror guy. Was completely unaware of. Larry, you probably know this. Stu, I don't know if you know this or not. Freddy Krueger was not originally set to be played by Robert Englund. There was another actor hired, makeup tested, and everything who had to drop out because of scheduling conflicts. And I have a picture I found on the web of that actor. Now, I don't have a picture of the actor's face, so if you don't know who he is, look it up. But here is the actual original test. That's the original Freddy makeup. on actor David Warner. David Warner, who's been in fucking a million things: Star Trek 5, Star Trek 6,
You
Teenage
know
Mutant
David.
Ninja
You
Turtles
would know
2,
David
The
Warner
Omen.
as soon as you saw him. You'd know him
The
as soon as you saw
Omen.
him.
He's
Yep.
the guy who gets his head cut off by the pane of glass.
Yep.
But I had no fucking idea about this. Larry, you knew about this? I did not know this.
I did know that. I did. Yes.
He
I
looks
knew
like
that he
somebody
wasn't.
who would just yell at kids to get off his lawn. Maybe that's
Yeah,
why he was
and they
murdering them.
and after he dropped, they interviewed other people, including Kane
Kane
Hodder.
Hodder. The original idea was they wanted, because David Hodder.
They wanted a big guy. The
They wanted a big
killers in
dude.
movies were big people, so they wanted, fucking Gunnar Hansen. They wanted a big fucking guy. And Kane, came with stunt and scars already, so that would have been a win. He already had burn scars at that time, but yeah, no. Then they went with Robert, even though Robert's much smaller. They went with somebody who could actually act, act. Somebody who could fit this into their V schedule.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's how I knew who, before I ever saw Nightmare on Elm Street. For me, Robert Englund was. It's funny because he's the worst. He's the worst villain ever in Nightmare on Elm Street. He's a child murderer, and on V, he's the only likable character in a group of space Nazis. Essentially, he was Willie, like kind of like the simple, but he helped the rebels. He was good. He was on their side. So yeah, real dichotomy. Patrick, are you fucking with me? Did you know this and you're fucking with me, or is that like real like excitement, Patrick? Because I look up to your knowledge, Patrick, and if you're being a dick, I'm going to be very sad about this.
No, I think he's being legit. I think Patrick's being legit. I think a lot of people probably don't know that David Warner, or realize who David Warner is just by the name alone, because he's kind of one of those actors you've seen in a million things,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you don't know his fucking name.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is the real excitement. I'm very excited that we made you excited. The real, he is probably best known, like I said, the Omen. He's the guy who gets his head chopped off, but he's been in. Oh, and actually, he's also. I remember this. He's also in Titanic. He is Billy Zane's like bodyguard.
Guy.
Yeah. And I think I could be totally wrong. Did he pass away like last year or the year before? I have a feeling he might have passed away.
I just Googled him and it did not say he died. It said he was 80 years old.
Well, he should have died. No, that's terrible. Stop it.
David
Nope,
Warner.
It definitely says is, unless he died just moments ago. My Google result says that he is an actor, that he's 80 years old. Does not say was.
And Holly's right. He was in
Still
Time
alive.
Bandits. Time Bandits, one of my favorites.
He
I
did.
love
He
Time Bandits.
played Jack the Ripper in Time After Time, a really cool movie with Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen from
He's been in fucking so much. He's been in a lot of stuff. But you know what he hasn't been in? A Nightmare on Elm Street.
No. He didn't make it. All right. So that's kind of a lot of the factual stuff here that I have for this movie. First commercial success for New Line. There was a ton of pre-production problems between the script. The script got rejected by 3 companies before New Line finally took it on. New Line before this
one
movie,
being Disney.
So did you read like the actual?
Why do you bring
notes?
this to Disney? Why are you even like? I'm gonna bring this to Disney and see what they say.
Was destitute. He was.
He was given ZJs underneath the bridge abutment. What's the ZJ? If you don't know, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
He starts bringing it around. So 2 of the ones I wrote down 3. 2 of them had a reason they didn't want to do it. First of all, rejected by Disney. Disney said to him, "Hey, look, you've got to be able to lighten it up and make it like where kids can watch this." And he's like, "No," and he took it from there. And then Paramount, he went to Paramount, and Paramount was very interested, but they had a movie, I think, that was either already made or coming out very soon that they felt it conflicted with in terms of similar aesthetic, similar storyline, called Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid, which I haven't seen that since I was a kid. So they said we can't do Dreamscape and Nightmare on Elm Street in the same year. They're too close, right? So they didn't do that. And then Universal also said no.
They do that nowadays all the time.
Yeah,
White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen came out within like 7 seconds of each other.
Well, they did it years ago too. You had all the body switching movies and then all that, but it's not one studio doing it. They didn't want the same studio to do it, I guess. I can see Disney doing a PG version of this. They did a fair number of scary movies for kids back then. That is true. There were some. Didn't Disney do Something Wicked This Way Comes. That movie's fucked. Like when I was a kid, that
I
movie
think that
scared the
was
fuck
Disney.
out of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, what's his name? Fuck, he's a great actor. That movie scared the shit out of me as a kid, and I think that is a Disney film.
Yeah,
that is
I
a
agree.
Disney film. So essentially, we start this thing off, and we get right into it. It is what the hell? Sorry, I had a complete fucking loss there.
You're right there.
Well, no, I was trying. I was trying to fucking remember how the movie started. I was
Yeah,
trying
it
to remember
starts
how the movie
with Tina. It starts Tina.
Tina. Right, Larry,
Yeah.
walk us through the beginning of
In
this.
the
Ah,
boiler
no
room.
fucking, yeah, she's running around a boiler room, and the fucking guy with the thing. You hear the sound, right?
Yep.
So I can't make that sound with my throat, but
Good.
you hear that sound. And you know, he catches up with her, and fucking scary guy, and then she wakes up real quick, and you can see she's got 4 slashes in her shirt.
Yeah, her
And,
mom's
you
like,
know,
"We're gonna quit buying you fucking nightgowns. Quit it.
yeah, and her
Trim your
mom,
nails."
you know, as a typical mother would do, is just like, hey, cut your fingernails.
Oh my
Because
God.
that that
The
makes
mother
sense.
the mother saying that, and then the sleazy either boyfriend, husband, or like just guy she fucked that night come back and
Hey,
go, hey babe, you
hey,
getting back in the sack
get
or
in
what?
here? We
You better
trying to bang. Let's get back into the bed, huh?
yes, yeah, maybe I might have had a little COVID fog brain there. Something happened.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
I think Wes Craven hates his mother, and this was his movie way of dealing with that, because the mothers in this movie just terrible. Just
I think
Yeah.
Wes Craven was pregnant during the filming. There it is.
Mommy's a horror.
I bought out the first pregnancy scandal for Nightmare on Elm Street. I think
So
Wes Craven was pregnant.
That's the actual Shyamalan twist. The Wes Craven Shyamalan twist is that it was
Yes.
Wes Craven that's been pregnant the whole time.
Yeah.
Stu's pregnancy watch has been always coming around to the fact that it was Wes Craven at all points. At all points.
Yes.
Yeah. So she wakes up, and you know the mom's got to go back and get in the sack with that fucking
Yeah. Hey, huh? Hey,
turd ball.
Hey.
She freaks out. The next morning, we get everybody to school, and we meet our kind of cast of characters. We have Tina again, who the actress. I think she's the girlfriend in Better Off Dead, right? That causes all of Lane Meyer's problems. I'm
Is
fairly
she?
certain. I don't
think I ever put that together.
We get Johnny Depp, who plays Glenn. In his
Introducing
Introducing Johnny Depp as the
Which
worst
you have to
boyfriend on
mention.
the planet.
Yeah, but you have to mention the fucking story, right? That the dude just drove his friend Jackie Earl Haley to audition.
Yep.
And then they were like, hey, ugly fucking kid from Bad News Bears, why don't you stay in the car and let's let your hot fucking friend come in here?
And funnily enough, Jackie Earl Haley gets the job, 30 years later, replacing, or whatever.
When Freddie actually is a molester, when they let him run with the molester angle, they're like, hey, remember the Bad News Bears kid?
Kelly Leak, the home run king.
Yeah, now we got him.
So we get Johnny Depp. We get the gentleman playing Rod Lane.
The Night Stalker. You mean Richard Ramirez?
He looks like Richard Ramirez, and I was reading up on him.
That's Chirulo from Wildcats. You know Wildcats, right?
Oh, the football movie.
Yes, he was the one that was fucking farting all the time and smashing his head into the locker.
Oh, okay, all right.
I love Wildcats, man. That's a favorite movie.
Long time. It's been a long time.
I saw it in the theater like 3 times.
I think it was more of a video movie for me, or HBO, most likely. So that actor actually, who now is like runs a production company, at the time admitted that during filming of the movie he was addicted to heroin, and he was snorting heroin in the bathroom in between scenes. The scene where he is talking to Nancy in the jail cell and he looks all fucked up, he was fucked up on heroin, because Heather Langenkamp actually says she knew something was wrong with him, and he was just straight fucked up. And then was he
a student, or was he just some older kid that Tina was dating?
I don't. So okay, since you went here,
he's clearly like 5 years older than the rest of them.
I've probably seen A Nightmare on Elm Street at least. I don't know. It's got to be like 50 times I've seen the movie. I would have to think over the years, right? I never realized these kids are 15 years old until yesterday.
Yeah.
When they said when Tina dies, spoiler alert, sorry if anybody hasn't seen it, but when Tina dies oh so wonderfully, they later say that a 15-year-old girl has died. Excuse me, I was 15 and nobody looked like this. That dude was a fucking man. That dude,
Yeah.
that Chirulo was a fucking man. Like
That's not your mother, baby. That's a man.
it's like I'm like, hold on a second. What do you? I'm like, okay, I know they're supposed to be in high school, but I'm picturing like they're seniors who
They're
maybe stay
seniors,
back a
yeah.
year. You know, they're 18 at least. Like when they said she was 15, I'm like, hold on. She's like having sex all night. Like, and
Yeah.
obviously your boyfriend's on heroin. Like, and he's a night stalker. He's a serial killer. This
I
is
can't
all.
I can't speak to all of their ages, but Heather
If Tina's
Langenkamp.
supposed to be 15, then Heather's got to be around 15.
No,
They
like
were in the same class.
they're real ages. I don't know how old the rest of them were. Like
Oh,
the guy who played Rod looked like he was 42.
Yeah.
Heather
Yeah.
Langen,
No, he was-
Heather, yeah, he was definitely an
Yeah.
older guy.
Rod was
Heather-
older than I am right now.
Yes, yeah, he was 2 years older than Stu. Heather Langenkamp was a freshman at Stanford University who
so
took a break.
19ish.
So 19ish. So she was
Yeah.
close-ish.
There's a line in the movie which is hilarious to people of our age, but she looks in the mirror and she's like, I look like I'm 20.
I
She
laughed so
was.
fucking hard
She was
at that.
20 years old when the movie came out in theaters. I don't know how old she was when she filmed it, but her birthday was in like July 84 and the movie came out in November 84.
Johnny Depp was 19 and Heather, thank you, Bonnie. 19 and Heather was 18. Can I let's okay, so
Okay.
since let's go a
But
little bit in
they're all playing 15-year-olds is what
all
we're
playing
trying to say.
15-year-olds. All playing 15-year-olds.
I never got that, dude. All the what I was saying is all the times I've
Did you
seen
ever
this.
watch anything with high school kids? Did you watch Scream?
Oh no, I did, but I didn't put them at 15 either. I put them all at like seniors.
That's
like
what I
18.
mean. Like anything starring high school kids, especially up until like 10 years ago, they all look like they were 30.
Yeah, but they're 18.
I actually thought this movie, they looked younger than most movies that have people playing high schoolers.
They did, but I'm still there's 15.
Yeah, 15. Well, 15. I know what you're saying. 15 is like
they can't even drive a car, but
Right.
yet Johnny Depp has a convertible.
He has a car. He's driving a car.
He has like a Freddy Krueger convertible.
15 is like the hard cutoff of like, yeah, great point, Bonnie. Grease. Travolta's a high school kid in Grease, right?
Yeah.
They've
Yeah, forget about Travolta. Like his friends were even older looking than he. That fucking Kanicki was like fucking 46.
Kanicki, after study hall, let's go to the AARP and get our cards. It's like a fucking break.
Oh, up your nose with a rubber hose. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Barbara
wrong.
Crampton
Whatever.
in Chopping Mall. Played
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So
Yeah.
no, you're right though. 15 is pretty young.
Yeah, right.
And Stu, you're right. That line about I look like I'm 20 was
I
fucking
look like
great.
I'm 20.
Was fucking
Fuck you.
great.
Fuck you.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, Laura, good one. Stockard Channing in Grease. She looks like She looks like she's fucking been ridden hard and put away fucking wet at like 37 years old, and she's playing a fucking 17-year-old in Grease. It's a plus 20 minus 20. I don't know what's going on, but let's talk real quick before we get any further into the actual movie itself, because we're on the cast. I want to talk about like something that I noticed. Well, no, John Saxon's great. Something that I noticed, particularly when I saw this at Larry's showing a couple years ago, and I noticed it even more this time. And it was something that I don't know if I, having seen this movie probably 7 or 8 times in my life, ever really focused on. And it's probably because she didn't have a really big career. Is how, in my opinion, how fucking good Heather Langenkamp is in this movie, and how good fucking Nancy is. Like the lines. Like she just has a delivery that's different than anything I've ever seen, and she makes me laugh throughout the whole fucking movie. There's the scene when she has to go to sleep to find where Freddy is, and she tells Glenn to watch her, and Glenn does what he does through the whole movie: fall asleep and fuck up.
Yeah,
he's the worst.
He's the absolute worst, and it costs him. It costs him his life.
But listen, he's super good looking.
He is. He's a dreamboat.
You can get by. Like you can be that. You can be a dick. You're gonna get a hot girlfriend. Sorry. Especially in high school.
Yeah, that was my favorite note I took, and I'll let you get back to Heather Langenkamp. My favorite note is Glenn responds to all imperative demands that he stay awake by immediately falling asleep.
Yeah, he is not good under pressure at all. But when he does fall asleep and she gets out of the dream after being attacked by Freddy, and then she has that conversation with him where she's like, Glenn, you shit. I laugh so hard. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know if I just really like her in this movie. I actually go as far as to say that Nancy might be my favorite final girl of all time in any movie. Because
she's one of the more charismatic.
She's charismatic. She's willing to fucking go in there and get it done. What's done? She has the
Anarchist cookbook.
She has the Anarchist cookbook. She's the original Kevin McAllister, right?
Yeah.
So and that scene in the end. I love this. From the time that Glenn dies to the time her dad shows up at Glenn's house, and she knows that she has to go and get Freddie. She says at one point it's going to be 20 minutes. She sets that shit up in her house in 20 minutes time and still manages to fall asleep and fucking fight Freddie off. She puts gunpowder in the light bulbs. She sets a sledgehammer up over a door.
Like, your mom is in the house. You're not literally Kevin McAllister and no one else is home. She's setting up all this shit. Her mom could come out and be like, "Oh, I need to turn this light on."
Yeah.
But she gets
is her mom really getting up?
No. Her mom is pickled. Her mom is absolutely pickled.
Yeah, and when you talk about good actresses, her mom, Ronnie Blakely's on the other end of the fucking spectrum.
She's asleep.
Fucking awful.
Yeah,
but she's just bad. She's just not even. She's just like awful, like bad in this movie. But it's okay.
She is. And another thing I like in this movie, and you mentioned John Saxon a minute ago, is I like the actual palpable tension between John Saxon and Ronnie Blakely. Like, you could tell they're a couple that don't like each other at all. Mm-hmm. And even though they never discuss like her drinking and her obviously, you could see every time he's around her, he just looks at her like, "You fuck up." Like, watch the movie.
Are they divorced?
I would say so. Yeah.
Because how did she end up with the mom then? Like, who made that decision? Like, you go with the drunk.
Yeah.
And your dad,
alcoholic,
or
the police chief.
Yeah, your dad who's the good cop and did a hell of a job in Enter the Dragon. You can't go with him. You have to go with your alcoholic mom who doesn't give a shit about you or believe a word you say.
Your mom who keeps fifths of vodka in the laundry closet.
Yeah,
wrapped up in the towels.
Next to the boiler full of Freddy Krueger's glove.
Yeah. Has anyone mentioned Roger Rabbit? No, Holly did bring it up before. Yes, when they go to the Sleep Institute, the guy that is administering the test is Charles Fleischer, who is the voice of Roger Rabbit, and also has a great. He also has a great, very creepy scene in Zodiac, which is a great movie. In a basement, which is just watch the movie and it's great. But yeah, that's Roger Rabbit. So
no idea.
So they all go to school.
Jesus Christ, over there in the comments, Patrick should be on this episode.
Yeah,
he's got like all these theories. It's all a dream. She's Ho Chi Minh. Now he's down there like, oh, they don't say it, but lynching Freddie is what caused. You should be on the show, Patrick.
Yeah, well,
I'm just like, haha, Johnny Depp's funny. He fell asleep.
Lindsay says she even wondered where the dad lives since they never show him after work. Maybe he got the shed in the divorce. Very possible. Very possible. He's in Demon Knight 2, which we did Demon Knight. Who's in Demon Knight? John Saxon? I don't think he was.
Rabbit?
Right. Oh, Charles Fleischer. He is in Demon Knight. He's the guy that's in love with the hooker. Yes. Yeah, he got a he shed in the divorce. Thank you, Stu. Patrick said thank you, Stu. Patrick.
I know, you're bringing all the information. I'm just reading your comments over there. I just watched the movie and wrote down what made me laugh. Shit.
So they get to school and they start to all kind of slowly discover that they're
Patrick
all having
stealing my fan theory thunder here, though. I don't like it. He keeps bringing up in the comments that the entire movie is a dream.
Well, then,
like, all right, calm down.
You're on. You've got a microphone. Say it. What's your fan?
No. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I had fan theories for every inch of the Jason movies. I got nothing on this one, but Patrick's got it. Patrick is on the Nightmare on Elm Street fan theories.
All right.
Yes, Charles Fleischer is in Demon Knight. So they all start to determine that they're having the same dream, same nightmare that features a burned-faced man in a funny hat, a fedora,
with fingernails.
And he has been chasing them around. So they don't want Tina to have another nightmare. So Johnny Depp, Glenn, and fucking Heather Langenkamp, Nancy, they go to her house to have a sleepover. Rod shows up, and by his name, he's there for one reason only, to lay pipe. Tina, worst friend in the world, doesn't even say, oh, Rod, I've got friends over tonight. She's just like, let's go fuck right now. And
she's
disappeared.
Like, please, you have to say you can't leave me alone with him, and then just goes and fucks him.
Yeah. I couldn't even understand from the movie whether they had a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or he was a guy that had been just trying to fuck her the whole time and that she finally gave into it. You know, like did you feel
That's the
that way?
vibe I got. That's the vibe
Yeah.
I got.
Like,
He was
oh, I'm gonna
25. He was just coming from his Judas Priest cover band to hang out with these teenagers. And he was going to fuck the 15-year-old, like you
Yeah.
do.
like you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, he had just finished 2 run-throughs of Turbo Lover. So they go, they have really loud sex, and then as you would, they fall asleep, and
Much
this
to Johnny Depp's chagrin, because he wanted
Yeah.
he wanted to
He wanted to have
bone
really loud
Nancy.
sex.
Yeah, and she's just like, "Stop it! I'm a virgin, and that's how I'll survive this movie." And yeah, he had to fucking lay there and listen to fucking Richard Ramirez laying pipe all night.
Okay, so Eve thinks or says, maybe it's not thinks, that was her ex. All
Now,
right, yeah, okay.
oh, they
Um,
started dating when she was 14 and he was 29.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good,
It was
great.
before he was in the Judas Priest cover band, and it was when he was in the I don't know the Saxon cover band right
Yeah.
before he broke up with that.
Ah, with John Saxon.
Freddie got more tongue than Johnny
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Do you think
Uh,
John Saxon ever listened to Saxon? Do you think?
Pro-
Do you think that's possible?
that's probably how he got that name. Probably how he got his. Yeah.
I
His
don't know.
original choice was John Judas Priest, and it just didn't ring. It just didn't have
Yeah,
that ring.
John Iron Maiden. No, not really
Now,
good.
what did you guys think of the actual death scene for Tina? I think it's fucking incredible. I think it's a great scene. A lot going on. She falls asleep. She has this dream. She runs into Freddy in like the alley of her house. He does that thing with his fucking arms. He looks like Dick Jones falling out of the building at the end of RoboCop. If you ever see RoboCop, Dick Jones's arms become 19 times too long,
Yeah.
and he's coming down. He's scraping the wall, and then he attacks her, kills her fucking violently.
Yeah.
Rod wakes up. She spins around. She headbutts Rod. He
That
goes
was the
flying
best
into
part.
He goes
One of my
flying
favorite
into
parts of the whole
fucking ramp,
movie, when she's just spinning around the room and fucking just headbutts him in the face.
Headbutts him in the face. He hits the fucking lamp head first. Tidy
Yeah.
Whitey's out cold, and
Yep.
she just gets fucking decimated. I thought.
Well, first she's on the ceiling. She's like
Yeah.
rolling around the ceiling, which is when Owen, because of course Owen watched this with me.
Yeah, what,
And-
Larry, can we talk for a minute?
Owen
we-
goes, hold on. When she's on the ceiling, Owen goes, "Hey, she could be the new Spider-Man." And then as soon as she falls off, he goes, "Well, not anymore." There it
Larry-
goes.
Is John about to school your parenting?
I think so.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no right to do that, but let me school you for a second. No,
Yeah.
no. I have to laugh sometimes. Because I'm not a parent, and if I was, I probably would like to challenge what I think my kids could watch or couldn't watch. My buddy James, he watches horror movies with his kids all the time. But so I watched it, I don't know, like maybe Tuesday, and then I think Wednesday, Larry sent me a picture of him and Owen, and it's just like they're on the couch and Owen's like nestled in Larry's lap and watching this thing, and it's like watching NOES, and I'm like, I don't know if Owen's gonna be now. Owen's a tougher kid than I ever was, and I always forget too.
I'm actually surprised. Was this the first time he'd ever seen it?
Yes.
Oh,
It
okay.
was. Jalen
Did-
had seen it before. but
So
it was-
in all honesty, now again, I know your kids are tempered by steel. I know that they've been like burned in the fire of horror.
Yeah.
Did that? Does anything ever end? And he goes, that bothered me, Dad, or like that was scary, like, or is he just like, fuck it, I'm going to bed?
He said no. He said after it was over, he's like, "Well, that was kind of scary." He's like, "Mommy has to sleep in my bed tonight," and Jen slept in the bed, and that was it.
And what does Jen
So-
say to you on those nights? Is Jen just
She
like,
didn't-
I just want to eat
she-
my dry salad and relax?
Yeah, she's just got a handful of dry lettuce, and I'm eating dry cereal. She's eating dry lettuce, and yeah, no, she's like whatever. Hey, listen, that meant I got the whole bed to myself.
There you
It
go.
was fucking
Oh,
sweet.
it was pre-planned.
Yeah, nobody was yanking the covers off me all night. It was fucking amazing. I mean, usually I get like, if this is the blanket, I usually get like this piece right
Yeah.
here. Like this has to go over my whole body right
Dude,
there.
I
Yeah.
have a wife and 2 full-size dogs that sleep in the bed. I 190% get not like I wake up sometimes. This is not a joke. I wake up sometimes as I'm rolling off the bed, I wake up landing almost on my feet like a fucking
100%.
cat. Yeah. Like my body's being awoken by falling off the fucking bed. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Dude, admittedly, I don't have a king, but I have a queen, which is a good sized bed. And you've seen my wife. Jen is small.
Yes.
And I'm smaller now. But I'll come to bed. She goes to bed first. She's like an early bed person. And then I'll come up to bed and her head will be like a little off of her side, but somehow like the other half of her will be off my side. I'm like, you're almost sleeping completely the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like you're taking, like I have to pick you up and turn you, like in order for me to even lay down at all.
Yeah. My
That
dog
was-
Echo, who you know, he's a 60-pound dog probably. He somehow lays all the way diagonally across the bed, and then also disenhinges his head and leg joints so they go across a different way. I can't describe it, but he does it, and there's just nowhere not to be on top of him. It's interesting, and that is absolutely not a joke. I wake up more than once, probably 2 times a month, falling off the bed.
Yeah.
There's going to be the night. It's just I'm not going to wake up, and you're all going to be like, "What happened to John from Panic Comics?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, he fell off the bed and died from it. It was terrible."
Yeah,
was
I
awful.
got to tell you though, and I will catch it on video. Owen is hysterical to watch horror movies with because he screams out loud, like I mean, and like loud, and it just
How old
and
is Owen
it's
now?
hysterical. 7.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's hysterical. It's just I'm gonna have to somehow set up a recorder when I have something good going, and I'll
My
we'll put it out there.
my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are gonna hate me whenever like they finally get my niece vaccinated and she's ever allowed out of the house. But like she's coming over here and she's gonna be like 6 years old, and I'm like, it's time for you to meet my friend Jason.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Show her
Yeah.
part 5. Show her part 5. Get her right into it.
Show her the one that's essentially porn.
Yeah, sure. The one that's actually no good. All right.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was the first horror movie I ever owned, thanks to my stepdad's inappropriate brother. Let's see. So you're saying the Cannibal Holocaust theme Quinceañera is a bad idea?
Yeah, neither of the kids have seen Cannibal Holocaust yet.
Yeah, Eve gets it. Like queen bed, 3 cats take over the bed. It's a nightmare. It's certainly a nightmare. So scared by the trailer, I wouldn't go upstairs to bed alone. Once fell asleep on the stairs waiting for my parents. Yeah, this movie is definitely.
It's definitely a scary movie. It's definitely scarier than any of the follow-ups. We'll get to those.
Certainly.
Oh yeah.
This is the one that is a true horror movie.
I kind of
slasher.
I would say New Nightmare.
Okay.
I want to go as far, and we'll talk about it. And we talked about it before on the pint. I want to go as far as to say I think 2 also, despite all of the obvious stuff that people talk about with that movie, there's some fairly scary shit in that movie too.
The bird explodes.
The bird explodes. It's certainly the one. It's certainly the closest one to this one in tone, because once you get Dream Warriors, it's all about
we start getting silly.
Right, it's fantastical. All right, Holly had mentioned it before, and I thought it was great. The technical aspect of her, the whole scene with her flipping around the room, and there's one shot in particular I was really impressed by. That was from behind Rod's head. Rod, say it again, take a shot, where he's just watching her, and she's doing all that crazy shit, and he's just like screaming. It was really, really well shot.
That's because he couldn't find his heroin.
Yeah, that's probably pretty true.
Yeah,
probably pretty true. I have not seen New Nightmare since the movie theater, so I'm looking forward to watching that one again and getting a fresh take on it.
So hot take. I don't know if I've ever seen it. But
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do I own it?
Do I own it?
Yeah, I do. I got it.
Well, all right.
Okay.
There you go. So the next day, first question I got to ask you, Stu, you're 15 years old. You are inside of a murder house the night before. Are you also the only kid on Earth, along with Nancy, who actually goes to school? Like, what the fuck? What the actual?
I like how everyone was mad at her for going to school too. Her mom's like, "Why are you going to school?" Her dad's like, "Why'd you go to school?" Everyone was so mad at this girl for just going to school, man.
Well, her dad was kind of glad she went to school because then she could use him as a setup to fucking catch the Night Stalker. Like fully like used his daughter
as bait.
Oh, he totally uses her as bait.
Oh, yeah, fucking Saxon.
Yeah, he uses her to catch Rod. Rod has been hiding out. So the father, who is the sheriff or whatever.
Is this the part in the movie where Rod has a leather jacket and no shirt?
No shirt. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good
Yeah.
look.
Look,
Oh,
I'm gonna get a leather jacket just to do that.
Yeah,
Stu,
the
I would
full-
like
the
to. I would like to see
15-year-old
you
with
in
the
that.
full fucking pecs and abs.
Yeah.
Like
Fun
all he was
fact,
missing
I
was
have huge
tattoos.
nipples, so I don't know if I could pull it off like Rod, but
Huge nipples or big areola, Stu? What do you have? Like you
both.
mean like
no,
your
no,
nipples-
actually, just the nipples,
So like
Huh.
huge, as in like your nipples stick out like turkey timers, or
Yes,
like
all the time.
okay. All right.
In the summer when I'm not wearing sweaters all the time, every shirt I own, man. It's just
Nice.
it looks like it's freezing cold everywhere I go. It's terrible. I hate it.
Oh man, I would be staring you. It'd be inappropriate if we were around each other more often. I'd be like, oh damn, Stu's in the room. I can't think straight.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be warm. I'll wear a polo shirt to work. I'll take a picture. I will have a t-shirt on and a polo shirt. I'll go to the bathroom and take a picture. It's
Can't
terrible.
wait.
In Scream, they went to school when Drew got slaughtered. You're right. You're absolutely right. But like when Drew got slaughtered and Sidney got attacked, but okay, but like I don't know, like not everybody was in the room for that. Like it's like
Yeah.
like
And I don't
Nancy's
think-
in the fucking house. Like look, when I was a kid, all you had to say was like, there's like a flood at school.
Yeah.
Don't you
Or I have
know?
a sore
I'd be like,
throat.
yeah, slight sore throat. Wake up some days, just go, Mom, I don't feel like going. And if she said okay, I'm good with it. And Nancy has just been through the most traumatic event any 15-year-old has ever been through, and she's like, I want to go and see my friends. By the way, the actual Night Stalker was at large and committing murders during this film's release. I'll tell you a story that will make you laugh. I've told the story maybe on the podcast before. Last year, Netflix
Sean's story
put
is
out-
going to be like, oh, the Night Stalker came into the store one day.
No. I've never met Richard Ramirez. Last year, there was a documentary on Netflix about the Night Stalker, like a 5-part documentary. I watched the first part on a Sunday night, and like it ended at 11 and went to bed. And we have a house alarm here. Our house has been robbed one time, so we have a house alarm. And once in a great while, we'll have an issue with it. 3 in the fucking morning, the night I watched the Night Stalker documentary, my house alarm went off. And boy, oh fucking boy, does that really fucking like make you think like oh fuck, what's going on right now? It was interesting. No Night Stalker though. I'm still here.
No Night Stalker.
No Night Stalker.
Thank God.
Leather jacket and no shirt. First cutoff shirt below the chesticles from Sleepaway Camp. Oh yeah. Like Glenn in this movie has the belly shirt, right? But the kid in Sleepaway Camp literally is wearing like a male bra of some sort.
Yeah. And don't forget the one guy with Sleepaway Camps where his balls were out the whole fucking time. Basically,
Yeah.
his balls were out.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Greatest line in Sleepaway Camp. I laughed, Larry, when I never seen it before. You showed it.
Yeah,
And,
you don't even have to say it. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Eat shit and die.
Shit and
Eat shit and live.
Eat shit and live, Ricky.
Ricky, yeah. Eat shit and live, Ricky. I laughed so fucking hard in that. That movie's great. That movie's one that if you've never seen Sleepaway Camp, watch Sleepaway Camp. You'll absolutely enjoy it. It's a fantastic film. And Laura's right. It probably is the alarm company.
We had gotten away from it for a second, but I do want to point out Nancy had to go to school that day so that she could have Lynn Shay jump from one scene in one Shakespeare book to another scene in another Shakespeare book. How do you teach Shakespeare like that? What book are they reading?
Well, apparently, Stu, they weren't expecting the people to know the works of Shakespeare when they were filming this film. I would have to say they were not.
She literally goes from talking about Hamlet to talking about what was it? I forget. But she goes from Hamlet to just another book, like out of the blue.
I don't think I ever even noticed. Actually,
I never noticed.
Really?
This, too. This is where you're showing your.
And I know Shakespeare, but it never dawned on me, which is weird. I'm surprised I didn't catch that.
This is Stu being a college boy. I'm a college boy. I know all about Shakespeare and all that stuff. I never caught that. Lynn Shay, I wanted to ask you, Larry. Maybe you know better than me. The producer of Nightmare on Elm Street film is Robert Shay. Is this a relation? Do you know?
Sure is.
I wondered about that too.
Yep, sure is, and he's the one who made them cast her.
Okay.
He said, "You fucking put my sister in this goddamn movie," and they did, and so the Lynn Shay horror saga began, basically, because I'm pretty sure this was the first thing she did in the horror genre, and then she became pretty damn famous, and then she became Magda in Something About Mary, and gave us all something to remember. Which no, actually, better role was Kingpin, right?
Oh, Kingpin with Yeah, get the landlord that's making him do the dirt. Yeah,
What is it? What is it about good sex that makes me have to crap or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. She said, "You really jarred something loose there, Tiger."
that is gross.
Oh,
That is
she's
fucking
awesome
gross.
though. She is so good.
I
So
love how
yeah,
it goes,
he's yeah. That's the founder of New Line is her brother.
okay, all right. Patrick, I think the Shakespeare quotes from Hamlet, where they're talking about the ghost and mention the chaos and unburied dead during the Civil War in Caesar's time. Okay,
That would be Hamlet.
Eric, you are
Absolutely.
right. Kingpin is so good. So, Rod is now in jail, and Nancy is at school. The school scene I think is afterwards, but it's the first time she sees um, Tina's body getting dragged through the hallways. Great
Dude,
moment, right?
dude, that to me, like everybody talks about their scariest part. When I was a kid, and she fucking looked over and Tina was standing there, that not the dragging so much, but just when she was standing there in the body bag.
Yeah,
That's what scared me when I was a kid. It wasn't the fucking girls with the jump rope. It wasn't any of that. It was the fucking guy. It was her in the body bag that fucked me up for some reason. I don't know why. And it's still the other night I was like,
yeah.
uncool.
I agree. I think it's frightening when you see her, but like you said, the dragging part didn't get you. The part that gets me in that scene that I just find so odd and eerie is when her legs lift up and then she just
Mm,
starts to move. There's
yeah.
something very fucking creepy about that. And you're right. That is one of the scenes in this movie that is that like buries itself in your brain.
It's
Stu,
a great scene.
let's talk a little bit about scenes in the movie. What is something that like particularly maybe bothers you or is frightening to you or sticks in your head?
For me, and I think if I recall correctly, it's the scene in the movie that Wes Craven did not want, but it's when Nancy's trying to go up the stairs and like she can't climb the stairs, like her feet are sinking into the stairs, because so much of this movie, nothing about it feels like a dream. Like, I don't know, like, am I the only person in the world that has complete abject nonsense dreams that just jump from one scene and moment and thought to another and there's no connective tissue? And like that's what it feels like in a dream, is like you try to do something normal that you should be able to do in your life and you can't. And so she has that scene where she's trying to climb up the stairs and her feet are sinking and it's taking her way too long to climb up the stairs. Like, yeah, that's what a dream's like. That's scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The marshmallow fluff stairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of anything in this one particularly. I'd have to say one of the visuals that really strikes me because A, it's a great stunt effect, and B, it's just so fucking bold to do, like especially in like this smaller budget movie, is when Nancy at the end, when she gets Freddy in the when she captures him and brings him out of the dream, when she gets him in the boiler room and sets him on fire, that whole
Mhm.
bit where he's on fire and he's like setting everything on fire as he's walking is one thing. But then when he's on top of the mom on the bed on fire and they open the door, that's just like the whole thing is just creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
They throw the blanket over. When they pull the blanket away, the mother's dead, and then she sinks into that fucking lightning bed. Whatever's happening in that bed, I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on.
Are we gonna
Like,
get there already? Do we?
no, no. Well, I'm just kind of like jumping ahead a little bit in scene wise.
Okay. Because I need to talk about that scene at some point. I think we all need to talk about that scene at some point.
All right, let's get.
You want
back
to go
around to that.
now?
Let's do it now. Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
Okay.
that. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the bed scene for Larry.
Let's talk about the
Okay.
best. There are no rules. We're much like the Outback Steakhouse. There are no rules. Just right here. There is just right here on Pine of Horrors. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, like you said, she opens the door, and Freddy's on her mom, and Freddy's on fire, and you really can't see her mom, but you know she's on her mom, right? And then they throw
John Saxon throws the
John
fire
Saxon
retardant blanket.
throws the fire retardant blanket, which is a sheet, whatever, throws it over her and pats it out, and they pull it back, and now there's a skeleton waving. Like, was it waving? There was like a just receding
I think it was.
into the bed.
I think it was receding into the corpse chute
Into
of
the
bed.
into the bed, which looks like a portal,
Yeah, it's a portal with lightning bolts to another
almost like
dimension.
poltergeisty, like
Yes,
like
yeah.
where they
I was
throw the
thinking
tennis ball
Twilight
into.
Zone, but Poltergeist is better. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she just sinks down into it. Like I'm like, hold on, where'd Freddy go? Why is the mom a skeleton? I've seen people get burned and they don't just become a skeleton normally, especially like an old skeleton. And skeletons don't wave. And as many times as I've seen the movie, I don't And Patrick's right. John Saxon is just like
Yeah.
all in a day's work.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's kind of on fire and now she's a skeleton. And the guy that was on fire that was hugging her is now gone.
I honestly thought in
No
that
big
whole
deal.
scene, his whole thought process is, I don't have to deal with this fucking bitch in alimony anymore. I literally, I thought like he's like, I get the house back. I could just it's a little bit of a fixer upper
Do you
now.
even want the house? Now there's like
Now there's
fiery
bars
footprints,
on the windows.
There's marshmallow stairs. there's
Marshmallow
bars on the window.
stairs
the
forever.
basement has been burnt down.
All the light bulbs are filled with gunpowder. There's a sledgehammer in the hallway. Like, do you even want this house anymore?
This house doesn't sound so much like a cool house anymore as it does like a cool 80s action figure play set. Like, can you picture the box? You picture the box like it's like security windows, marshmallow stairs. Like, oh, I gotta get one of these right now.
Wait, I have a question now that we're talking
Sledgehammer
about the
doorway.
house.
Look, kids, you pull the sledgehammer up and it's bunk.
We
bunk.
see her at one point set up a tripwire.
Yeah.
Does that ever pay off?
Yeah, the tripwire is what blows up the light bulbs. It's like a
Oh, is it?
It was It was right before she set up the big log that crushed the predator. It was right before she set up that giant log.
She tied the paint cans to the ceiling.
Yeah. When she looked at him, she goes, "What the hell are you?" And it was like right at that scene.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
Oh. And then Nancy started laughing like that.
This was the 80s. Burn people became skeletons pretty fast. Bonnie has a good point. This is more square footage than his he shed that he's got in the back.
It's a good point.
What does Patrick say here? Also, Freddy is now alive again. He should be overjoyed, maybe even grateful to Nancy for bringing him back, but instead he's just pissed and trying to kill her. Makes no sense because it's a dream. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. Again, we'll go back. We'll recede back a little bit. So
we'll recede back, like wave
into the lightning bed. Into the lightning bed. So when Nancy is in school and she has the dream about Tina, she wakes herself up, I think, in a pretty cool way, by burning herself on a pipe in the boiler room. And
but if you notice, she burned one side of her arm, and then the burn mark was on the other. But whatever.
She also burned her arm and
wrong parts of Shakespeare, according to Stu. So
she also burned her arm and then came out of it with like a mild skin irritating rash.
Yeah, in the dream, she like presses it. It sounds like fucking like a steak.
It's sizzling.
When she comes out, she's like, "Oh, that's a minor inconvenience if I've ever seen one." It's a minor inconvenience. So Rod is now in jail, and Nancy and Glenn are starting to realize that this is all tied together. Nancy,
I don't think Glenn really ever bought into it, though.
No. She does, but she doesn't buy. He doesn't really believe it. But he's trying to get laid, so he's willing to do whatever she says.
That's it.
Okay,
he just wants to get laid, so he's just following her.
I've been there. I get it.
Right.
Yeah, honey. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
Right. Monster, you say?
Yeah, no.
Killing us in our dreams,
but he's real too. Yeah, no, I get it.
Why didn't you
cool.
say so, Nancy?
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Seriously.
What kind of underwear?
Take your shirt off. Yeah.
What kind of underwear are those? I've never seen that before.
Oh, yeah. Burned guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bro, you terribly burned. Yeah. So they start to do their little experiments where he's going to watch her and she's going to go into sleep to try to find out more about Freddy, which
just turns into her sleeping.
This happens like 3 times in the movie, and every single time she sleeps, gets fucking accosted by Freddy, and Glenn is fucking dreaming about fucking what does he say, Miss Nude USA or something. Is gonna
Wait, don't go to sleep. Yeah. Okay, all right.
I got it.
Right on top of that, Rose.
What is the point of the scene where she's having that dream and she's walking and she turns around and she's like, "Glenn, are you still there?" And he pops up from behind a lamppost.
Behind a tree. Yeah, she's just like,
"What was that?"
Yeah,
no idea. I don't know.
And Patrick,
I wish her mom skeleton popped out the other side, just like Glenn on one side and then mom skeleton out of the other.
Patrick brings up a really good point too, is that for someone that doesn't really seem to be too invested in the whole idea of this, is that all of a sudden Glenn has the answer. Like Glenn is the one who gives her the final answer to defeating Freddy, is to take away the belief in him and he'll disappear. But and like dreams and Balinese culture, it's like this kid who showed no real aptitude at all in this movie, or doesn't seem to really be too worried about the situation, suddenly has the answer for everything. That was an odd little part.
It is an odd choice, and you would think, like, in retrospect, like, if Wes Craven shouldn't have made her find that out in a library or something, like, because she seemed to be the whole, she was the smart one. She's the one who figured out how to beat him, the whole fucking thing. Like, having Glenn give her that information when he's clearly a fuck up, like, it should have just been her finding it out in a fucking, these days the internet, but back then in a fucking encyclopedia or something.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric has a good point. Did Patrick do his master's thesis on Nightmare on Elm Street? Patrick, we didn't know this. Patrick is actually a doctor. He has a doctorate on Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Radiology.
They go to the jail cell because they realize that that Rod's going to be in trouble. And as they get, this is a scene I don't understand at all. Why does Freddy make Rod look like a fake suicide? Like, does it matter? Freddy can't be caught. Like, so if Freddy goes into the jail cell and just like murders him in his dream and slices him up, what is the difference going to be? Like, do they think that they're going to come?
It would make more sense if 24 hours later he didn't do what he does to Glenn, which completely gives everything away.
Right.
Like, why are you trying to be so subtle and setting Rod up as a suicide, and then you're setting up Glenn as what? His bed was hungry?
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Glenn thing I don't even think was supposed to be a setup of any kind. It was just like, that was the interesting way he chose to kill him.
Yeah.
But Rod, it's like he deliberately is like, I've got to make this kid look like a suicide. Why, Freddy? You're a dream warrior. You're a dream killer. It doesn't fucking matter. Hallie has a great question. What is scarier, sleep paralysis or sleepwalking? I can tell you this right now. I've never sleepwalked before. I have had sleep paralysis a few times in my life. It is maybe the scariest fucking thing of all time. Have either of you guys ever had sleep paralysis?
No, I've never had either of those. Sleepwalking seems like it's much more dangerous, but I would imagine the paralysis is scarier because you know it's happening.
Look, I'll tell you. Look, Anthony says it as well. Eric to the sleeper paralysis to everyone else walking. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good way to look like.
That's a good point. So it's happened to me maybe 4 times in my life. And it's only been for probably, in my head, what feels like 5 minutes, but a minute. Just imagine waking up, opening your eyes. And there's also an element, I think, of sleep paralysis, which you also, while you're awake, have the sense that something else is going on in the room. I did. I don't believe in supernatural stuff. I'm not that guy. But the few times I had sleep paralysis, I felt like I was in a room filled with dread. It sounds weird, but this is true. Eyes open, fully awake, fully aware that I'm awake.
He's the law, right? So he'll keep you safe.
And cannot move at all. Cannot move at all. And I'm laying there in bed, struggling to move my arms, my legs, or anything, and nothing is fucking moving.
Now, you're sure it's not a dream?
No, this has happened a couple times.
I think sleep paralysis is one of those things I don't understand. Like,
I don't either. But
it's never happened to me, so it's hard to understand. Like, you're awake, just fucking move.
All right, Anthony. Yeah, perfect. Right, I get paralysis all the time, and it never stops being terrifying. It's certainly not a dream. It is certainly real. And like I said, I have.
What is it then?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know. But yes, and this is like he says it. It's really perfect. Not religious, but it feels like something evil is coming. The few times I've had it, I literally feel like there's something in the room staring at me. Patrick had mentioned that before. And I can't move and I can't do anything about it. And my wife is like a fucking half a foot away from me, and I am bound. My muscles are locked, and then like I'll just get this burst where my body will move, and then I will not fall back asleep for like a fucking hour because I'm terrified now. So yeah,
no, I just
sucks
sleep.
ass.
I stay in bed. I sleep.
I don't
walk around.
I toss and turn. I don't sleep well.
I sleep real
first
shitty.
Child was born, but
I wake up in the middle of the night every night at 2:00 because I have to pee, and then I'm up for 2 hours. But
yeah, I've never sleep psoriasis. That's gotta like you wake up and like you're just flakes are itching off your face. You're like, oh my god.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I have something like that. I used to get psoriasis on my toes, and it was really bad. And I would have nights where I would wake up in the middle of the night because I was just unconsciously scratching my toes till they bled.
Oh,
yeah. So that's the closest I've ever had.
I still think sleep paralysis sounds worse than that, though.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So Holly's
Yeah.
follow up, and this is something I don't understand because I've heard the term before: reoccurring nightmares or night terrors. I always thought night terrors was just another word for nightmares.
Yeah, I thought night terrors were just nightmares.
Yeah, I don't know what night terrors are either.
No, I think maybe night terrors might be where it's like you're fucking like screaming and crazed, like that kind of thing, which I've never had. I've certainly had nightmares. I had a nightmare last week that I don't remember at all, but I remember waking up and like my heart was beating, like, and just feeling like fucking unsettled. But Lindsay says REM sleep actually paralyzes you, so your body doesn't act out your dream. Night terrors are 19th century nightmares. All right, let's get back into the movie.
All right.
Let's get back into the movie. So Rod has now killed himself, so he's
What about
gone.
sleep apnea? Where does that rank in all of the sleeping problems?
That's just when you stop breathing. When
Yeah,
you're sleeping.
that's more of a health thing than
That's a medical issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a medical issue. It's your, you
wear a
got problems. Yeah, you got to wear a mask. It's just
Sleep apnea versus wet dreams.
Oh.
Both of those, I guess.
I've heard wet
almost
dreams aren't actually as fun as they sound. I've never had one of
Dude,
those as a kid either.
I
but
never
I
had
heard
a
it's
wet
like
dream.
not like you think wet dream and you're like, who doesn't like to come? That sounds fucking great. But I heard it's like not pleasant, like like it's always associated with something unpleasant. Like it's not like you're having a dream like you're screwing like, prime Cindy Crawford. Like I heard it's like
Prime.
something unpleasant is happening and then you just wake up covered in your own ick. Like I'm like, nah, doesn't sound cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I remember circa like 7th or 8th grade.
Was there an Owen sighting and I completely missed it?
I think
No,
he
is
was.
there?
I think he was trying, or I think Holly was trying to make a joke, like you're talking about wet dreams, and Owen's right behind you.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, I hope not.
So
I was like, shit, is Holly in a nightmare right now?
sleep paralysis.
I think we're all in a nightmare right now.
7th or 8th grade, I remember in whatever human sexuality class or whatever it was. Yeah, thank you. I did get that one. I remember learning about wet dreams and then living in fear of a wet dream because they made it seem like it's going to happen to everybody. And I'm like, how am I going to, like, my mom's going to have to like see that, like, what happens? I got to burn my sheets.
They did kind of make it seem like it was going to be a really big deal, right?
Yeah,
they made
Like
it seem
quicksand.
like
quicksand.
quicksand,
Yeah.
quicksand and amnesia. Yeah,
Gonna be
Yeah.
a real
Happens
big
to everyone.
problem.
every TV show and movie in the 70s and 80s had you convinced quicksand was going to happen in your life. And then your 8th grade health teacher had you convinced that you're going to wake up in a pile of your own cum. It was just going to happen. And neither one happened to me.
Like a steady pile, like a sturdy.
If you have sleep paralysis during a dream, do you feel it? No.
Better
what
question:
You feel...
What happens? What happens if you have a wet dream while you're sleepwalking?
Oh. So glad I'm not a dude. Yes, Holly, you should be. You should be.
Yeah.
It's not always the best. All right. So now it's basically Nancy's mother decides enough of this shit. I'm gonna get her some help. So she brings her to the Sleep Institute of America, founded by Roger Rabbit himself, and they have this very
Please, Eddie.
one of my favorite bits in this scene. One of my favorite bits in this whole scene is how it's very 1980s because they're in this medical clinic and Nancy's mother is sitting with what I'm assuming is a doctor and she lights up a cigarette.
Yeah.
I love watching older things and seeing stuff like that because it's just a wet dream in quicksand nightmare.
That's how the sand gets so wet.
It gets
You just start off at the beach. You have a wet dream and suddenly it's quicksand.
Oh God. And then somebody else gets stuck in it.
stuck in your jizz sand. So, Stu, what happens when they go to the institute? Nancy goes in again to go after Freddy, and what happens this time?
They have her hooked up to a seismograph to see if she's having an earthquake while she sleeps, and then she has a nightmare. And it's neat because it's the one nightmare we don't see. She gets scared, and then she wakes up and she's got a cut, which they apparently never stitch up because it just bleeds throughout the movie. And she has a hat.
She has his hat. She pulls the hat out. Right. Nobody finds this as
nobody
weird
seems
as I would
that that's
find
weird.
Yeah, nobody thinks that's as weird as she is. Her mom's mad at her. Her mom's like, "Where'd you get that hat?"
Yeah, were you fucking crazy pulling a hat out of your dream?
Where did you get that? In my fucking dream.
It's like
she also has. She's been physically affected besides the scratch too. What else happened to Nancy when she comes out of the dream?
Oh, she had the gray hair. She had the poltergeist lock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember Joe
now
Beth
she has-
Williams had
Yeah,
the
she's slowly turning into Rogue from the X-Men.
Yes. Yes.
she is. She's absorbing powers everywhere.
She falls in
Slick
love.
shoes. Sorry, Holly found slick shoes.
By
Slick
the,
shoes.
by the time the next movie starts, she's in love with Gambit, and everybody just poke their eyes out.
She's found
Mo
a nice
Cherie.
old man.
Oh, Mo Cherie, Nancy. I never met a girl I hate fucking Gambit. One of the worst fucking comic book characters of all time. Always drove me nuts. I absolutely hate Gambit. But
My wife and I, anytime we hear anybody in the world talk with that accent, we're like, oh, he talks like Gambit.
fucking, I always hated him so much. Yeah, Patrick says it was interesting that this dream was not shown at all. We stay with everybody in the waking world and only see Natchy's reactions. Yeah, that is true. We said that a second ago, Patrick. Why don't you catch up?
Yeah, come
I'm
on.
just fucking with you. Love you,
Patrick, she also pulled a hat out of the dream. If you want to mention that too.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing with me on that one. I fucking
Guys,
hate
did
Gambit,
you know
man.
that Roger Rabbit was in this movie?
What?
All right.
David Warner was almost Freddy.
David Warner was Freddy. Hold on, I've got a picture of that. Hold on 1 second. I'm pretty sure
Me
I have
too.
a picture of it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Hey, you guys
Get
want to
off
watch
my
the
lawn.
trailer? You guys want to watch the trailer?
Hey, can
All
you
right.
introduce everybody?
Stu, SWO Productions. If you have not been, there yet, go Pop Tarts. I actually have Stu. By the way, I never get out to the post, as the British call it. But I know you know. I have a box of Boston Cream Pop Tarts that
I've not been able to find those here.
I gotta get. You know what it is? I gotta. Here's some practical advice.
You know,
from John.
mailing something is not that hard, John.
It's not. I have to get
It's
to
not.
the post office and mail it. Here's why.
John
Don't-
works 38 hours a day.
Don't go
It's true.
UPS to mail shit.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
knew
want to
that
pay
mistake.
$64.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
last Christmas
Yeah.
time, I sent Stu a package. I think I sent Joe a package. I sent a few other packages out, and because UPS is real close to my house, I went there, and it cost
poor
to send
choices.
something. To send
Have you
something
finished
to
paying
Stu-
yet? Have you
No, I'm
finished
still.
paying?
I'm on the 18-month installment plan.
Yeah.
To send Stu something in fucking in Pittsburgh cost almost as much as to send Joey DiCarlo something in Springfield, Mass. But they were both super expensive. Fucking don't do it.
Yeah, don't do UPS, man. That's-
Pirateship.com. Is someone giving me
What?
advice? Is that advice, Eric? Or is
Yeah,
that
I don't know why we're.
All
Has
I know
Eric
is
been
I'm
taken
not,
over by a
I don't know.
spam bot?
I'm not going to that website. I have
Uh,
a feeling there's going to be some blue waffle type shit waiting
yeah,
for me.
Eric,
I got no
lemon
time
party.
for it.
Eric's going to start posting. John, do you want me to promote your podcast?
More
Jesus
more
Christ.
shirts coming, Holly. More shirts coming. Vimmy.com. All of a sudden, this is a .com.
Oh,
I will check all these out. Yeah,
Don't
is that
go
why I sent it COD? Yes, Joe. You're paying for me shipping you stuff. You're
Yes.
paying it. It's for Eric's side business. All right, excellent. Is
Oh,
that
good.
selling gefilte fish to Stu, or what's your side business? All right. So Nancy now decides that she's got to like run the final gambit. She needs Glenn to fucking look. You fucked up 4 times already, Glenn.
Yeah.
Tonight is the night.
I'm giving
Tonight
you one
you
more
step
chance.
the fuck up. Tonight
We're
you
gonna-
step the fuck up.
We're gonna kill this motherfucker tonight.
What does
okay?
she say? She's like, I'm gonna pull him out, and you cold clock the son of
Cold
a bitch.
cock him. Yeah.
You're a
Who says
jock.
that?
You have a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, another great.
I love that
line.
she knows what sport her boyfriend plays. You play baseball, don't you?
You play sport ball, don't you, Glenn?
Yeah.
I love the fact that that line is written well, and that again, I think Langenkamp just kills it in this movie. You know, you're a jock. Get a baseball bat or something. Another scene that she totally kills it in is after the Sleep Institute when she confronts her mother about the hat. She screams at her mother and slaps the chair. Did you guys see that scene or notice that scene? Like
Nah,
she's
bro.
like a frustrated 15-year-old girl. Like her mother tells her, like, just go to your room, and she just goes, ah! And hits the chair and walks away. And I thought she's having a temper tantrum. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, her mom's also an alcoholic fucking fuck up. So
Yeah.
did we get past the bathtub scene? Because that's a
Yeah,
great
we
scene.
totally skipped the bathtub.
Oh, we
scene.
skipped the bathtub scene.
You got to
We
talk
skipped
about the bathtub scene.
Yeah.
It's iconic. It's absolutely iconic.
Yeah.
So
I don't want
they
to. I don't want.
mentioned-
I got nothing to say about it. I'm just saying you got to talk about it.
Well, I have
Somebody has
something
to
to
talk
say
about
about it because the mom
Hey,
comes in
people
and she's
watching,
like,
talk amongst yourselves.
the mom comes in and she's like, hundreds of people a year die that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think that's true, but it is. I Googled it to this
Oh,
day.
no, it
It's
is.
like, it's
People
like
drown in
300.
bathtubs all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
300 people a
Yeah.
year. You couldn't convince me hundreds of people bath a year.
Whitney Houston.
Listen, no
When's
offense
the
to
last
anybody who
time
knows
anybody
anybody
here
who
has
drowned in a
bathed?
bathtub, but that's just stupid. Like, unless listen, you pass out or something, that's a whole other thing. But if you're just like a normal and you're not medically, and somehow you just happen to drown, oh, blah, 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 I can't fucking sit back up. I don't know. Sounds weird.
Like, is it just me? I haven't bathed in like a solid decade, at least.
At all?
I
In a
shower.
bath.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
who baths?
Okay. No, I
Who
thought you
baths?
meant you haven't.
I haven't
cleansed
washed.
yourself.
No,
You haven't cleansed.
I haven't
not-
cleansed.
Stu just like a cat. He's gonna.
I have 3. I just walk up to them and I'm like, here, take care of this. I'm dirty.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
In all honesty, when the mother says hundreds of people die that way every year, that's probably
Yeah.
true of almost everything. Like, there's probably hundreds of people that die every year slipping on a newspaper. So I mean, like, there's a lot of people on the planet. But yeah, I think the odds are. I like the fact. Okay, Joe Spinell did not die in a tub. Let me tell you how
He
Joe
died
Spinell
around a tub. He died like
He
in
died
the
on the
vicinity of a tub.
couch. He
Yeah,
was
but
he was
He hurt it. He cut
hemophiliac.
himself. He cut himself
In
in
the
the
tub.
bathroom. Yeah.
He broke.
But-
Apparently, he was getting out of the tub. He broke the glass slider and cut himself. He bled heavily, and then they said, very much almost like the Bob Saget death,
Yeah.
he must have gotten tired and laid down, and unfortunately died.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
He's like, I'm
No more
gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna go either to sleep.
He's
or
like,
play
Stallone.
Casino.
Stallone won't talk to me anymore. I'm going to sleep. Fuck this.
How Holly almost drowns using her water pick. I don't know how that's possible, but all right. It's crazy how many Hollywood movies try to convince the people bathe, shower, wash your hair, and brush your teeth regularly. And Bonnie says that scene is actually pretty scary when he pulls her down and you see the opening of the tub in the distance. Yeah, no, the scene definitely does work. I mean, and it's,
It does
I mean,
work.
look, it sucks that she's 15 and it's not sexy, but I mean, it's super iconic. The hand coming up between her legs, like that whole bit. And, you know, and just that whole scene. It probably was that ever used on a poster? No, the poster is her in bed, right?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm sure it was used. I'm sure it had to be used in a some
promo
sort
of
of.
some sort.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
on the
Yeah.
Cambodian poster.
Yes,
Quite,
yes.
quite possible.
All right, so she tells Glenn, stay up. He's at his house. You can't fall asleep. He's watching cowboy movies on a little TV on his stomach while he's listening to like some hot music. She goes over and she goes up and puts her, goes to sleep. Gonna go
By this
find
time, the
Freddie.
bars are on the windows,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Bars
The
are
bars
on the
have been up
windows.
for a while. Yeah,
Yeah, her
Bars
mom's
are
like,
on the
fucking put some bars on the window.
yeah. I like that Nancy's gone for a few hours and she comes home and the entire house is
Yeah.
barred up.
Her mom, aka Dudley Moore and Arthur, has decided to fucking put bars on the. I'm gonna call up and put bars on the windows. Who did you call while Nancy was at fucking school to get bars put on all the goddamn windows?
That
And how did
day.
John Saxon allow this?
I know who she called, Larry. It was Bert Johnson.
But he's taking the knife out of the cheese. You think you want some cheese?
These are all great Arthur jokes. I don't know if anybody's getting.
Yeah,
these,
I don't
but if
know.
you've
It's
never seen
probably-
Arthur before, great
Movie's
movie.
fun.
Don't
I
see
told
the
you they're
second
gonna
one.
have a tuna fish sandwich. I could go all night. I love it.
It is. It's a great movie. Stu, have you ever seen Arthur?
The remake with Russell
Oh.
Brand. That's
No,
no,
go back.
no,
Go to the
no.
original. Go to the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
One question
You've
I
done
did
your-
have.
You've done yourself a disservice there. Don't
One-
do that again.
I don't think
One-
I knew it was a remake at the time. I just knew like, oh, this is a movie that happened.
There's a bad sequel. Don't watch the sequel. Stay away from the sequel.
I actually
Just
like the
watch the
sequel.
original. Do you really?
I do.
Arthur
I
2
do.
on the rocks.
On the rocks. I do. I do.
Um,
Fucking John Gielgud comes back for a cameo, so why not?
okay, Patrick's with us on the Arthur jokes.
Thank you,
And of
Pat.
course, if you know anything about Arthur, Stu, you might know this one. If You Were Caught Between the Moon and New York City,
Christopher
right?
Cross, beautiful
Christopher
song.
Cross, Arthur's
What,
theme.
like the song?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
theme
Oh,
from
I
Arthur.
know.
That's the
Oh,
theme.
okay.
It's
Yeah, I know the
Arthur's
song.
theme.
Fuck, I love I have a station on my Amazon Music, Yacht Rock, and I love Yacht Rock. Arthur, Too Drunk. Yeah. Arthur 2 Fletch Lives.
That would have been a great sequel, Dave.
So, Larry, why don't you walk us through? Walk us through Glenn's death, because it's fantastic.
Yeah. So Glenn, what did you say? He's so Nancy yells through her fucking barred windows or on the phone, whatever, before Freddy licks through the phone. It's like, hey, fucking wake me up in whatever, I'll bring him out. You cold clock. Glenn falls asleep on the bed, of course. We all know.
Immediately.
Yeah, Glenn doesn't give a shit about anybody, but pussy, which I understand. I was 15 once and looked like the hottest man on earth, so I get it. I completely, and no, I never looked like the hottest man on earth. So Glenn falls asleep with the television in his gigantic bed that I was very jealous of. I don't know if the room was really small or the bed was really big, but it was a I do keep saying cold clock. You're right.
You do.
I do. I completely admit it. I know I've said that. And then he wakes up and what? Freddy's grabbing him. I don't know. Do you even see the gloves come up, or does he just start getting pulled in?
I think he just gets sucked in. I don't recall seeing the arms.
I don't remember.
I think they should have, but whatever. So he gets sucked in along with the TV.
The TV.
Yeah.
And some things from the nightstand.
Yeah, a bunch of the sheet, the nightstand, all gets pulled in, and apparently everything that gets pulled in, including Glenn, contains 7,000 gallons of Kool-Aid. It's not blood, because I've seen blood, and blood is neither that color nor is it that consistency. However, it's meant to be blood, and it just all shoots up in a tidal wave. I don't know how many gallons, and then it just spreads across the ceiling and is just filling up the ceiling and filling up the room. And his mom breaks in and says, "What's that noise?" He doesn't say turn it down, it's just the Beastie Boys. Mom sees the funnel of blood flowing up the ceiling and screams. And
but before she leaves the room, she takes away his best porno mags as well.
She does. She takes away his best. Yeah. 100%. So yeah, then that's the end of Glenn. He could never fall asleep on anybody again when he's supposed to be doing something. He's not going to cold clock anyone, Patrick.
No,
anymore.
Look, Patrick. Patrick says, just watched it earlier today. Or I'm sorry, that's the second one. No, his arms come out of Glenn's bed.
They do. Okay.
Let's explain we all missed that. Well, we're also old, Patrick. You're probably a little bit younger. I forget things 7 minutes after they happen. I watched this like 4 days ago or 5 days ago, so I definitely have to. I don't remember whether it did. It's bizarre because it's one thing if Freddy makes someone sleepwalk and hang themselves, but how the hell does it literally liquefy someone from inside a dream?
Not only someone, but that had to be the blood of like 64 humans. There's no. It's a great scene, though. Again, another iconic scene in this movie.
It's iconic. It's absolutely fucking
Everybody
iconic.
Remembers this scene. Anybody who's seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, even probably people who haven't seen it, know this fucking scene.
So Nancy gets the phone call with the Freddy mouth and the tongue, and when he says now, she goes now. She knows that Glenn's dead. She starts. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when she's screaming across the house to Glenn's house when the cops are all there, and she gets the world's dumbest deputy, and she's like, you stupid shit, get my dad, he's over here. She's screaming, and the guy's going, huh?
Right.
And then after about a minute of conversation, he goes, maybe I better get the Sarge. I'm like, this guy is not a good cop. This guy is not a good cop.
Well, there are no good adults in this movie. Really, even John Saxon.
Not competent. No.
Saxon's used his daughter as bait to catch the fucking Night Stalker.
That's why.
And then he just throws the fire retardant blanket on top of Freddy and his wife. Like he's not trying to save his wife. He's just like, shit, I don't want my bed to burn.
We made
also
it clear.
Not very concerned that his wife is now a waving a skeleton. Not very concerned.
I'm going ex-wife. I don't think he gives a fuck.
Whatever. Still not concernicus that his wife is like fucking. Bye.
He's all about that alimony. He's all
I'm
about
a
that. I don't have to worry about
skeleton
this.
boy. Yeah,
All right,
I
so
don't know.
Nancy,
Never once did he say, "Why is a chunk of your hair gray, Nancy, my 15-year-old daughter?" Why?
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Saxon also not a good adult. None of the adults in this film are really worth a shit.
I'll be honest. Something I had forgotten about this movie that this
Even Lynn Shay, she
Doesn't
can't
know
figure
how to
out how to
teach
read from
Shakespeare.
one page to the next.
nope.
She's jumping all over the goddamn book.
One of the things I had forgotten about this movie that is, it's kind of ingrained in our head as part of Freddy's story is the fact that the neighborhood parents, found him and killed him.
Yep.
And it's in this movie, it's a throwaway line. Like in my head, I think it's a bigger, like I know for sure because I'd seen it like maybe 2 years ago. We'll talk about it again. In the remake, it's actually a large part of the plot. They show it. They talk about it quite a bit. It's kind of a big thing. In this, it's just literally like, let me show you the boiler. Let me show you Freddy's glove. He killed 20 kids in the neighborhood.
In the house.
Yeah. I kept it in the house.
I kept the instrument that he used to kill 20 children. Here it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Again, great parenting.
John Saxon and
Jesus
Kruger are working
Christ.
together. Saxon covered up Freddy's murders in exchange for getting out of his alimony payments. I can see that. I absolutely see that. So she goes into the dream. We kind of talked about this already. She sets up the house, and she just it's another great bit where, again, Nancy's a great final girl, maybe the best ever. She just goes balls in at him. She tackles him at one point. She fucking chases him into a corner in the boiler room, douses him with gasoline, and sets him on fire.
I like that she sneaks up on him, and he's like, ah.
Yeah. Patrick had mentioned it way earlier, and I didn't bring it up when he mentioned it, but I wanted to bring it up. What's up with Freddy's running? Like his little I am a nightmare man. I'm from the land of Ireland.
Yeah, he does look like the leprechaun. Yeah.
There's that one scene like and he just looks like he's like this. He looks about the size of this fucking thing, and he's just like, "Rah!" I'm like, that's not scary at all. I would have thrown a trash can at that dude. Are you fucking crazy? Hey, did we skip over the fact that she was watching Evil Dead? Did anybody even mention that?
She was watching Evil Dead. You're correct.
Yes. Yeah, Evil Dead. Which Owen thought was Texas Chainsaw Massacre because there was a chainsaw. So him and I have some watching to do. But I'll take care of that.
Larry, please don't show him the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Please, for me. Like honestly, that might be the line I draw.
He saw the new one.
No, that's stupid. That's stupid. Everybody on Earth saw the new one. I'm talking about like I saw the original Chainsaw Massacre at like 10. And I was too young.
Yeah,
Give him
I don't
a few
think
years on that one.
He hasn't. I don't think neither him or Jalen has actually seen.
Yeah, keep him away. It's too real, man. It's still real to me. Damn it! You know that. Yeah. It's too real. Just don't do it.
Maybe I'll show them Arthur instead.
Get him stuck between the moon and New York City. It's a good place. It's a good place.
Arthur, he does what he pleases.
Oh,
all right.
Interesting. I didn't know this. I remember when the show came out. It was during the Freddy hype of the late 80s. Freddy's Trial and Murder was also shown in the first episode of Freddy's Nightmares. If I remember correctly, Freddy's Nightmares was like an anthology, though, right? Like it was mostly like,
it was like the Friday the 13th TV show.
Yeah, the Friday the 13th TV show actually had a linear plot. It was about getting getting all those antiques back. The Freddy show, I think, was like a creep show or whatever. Yeah. All right. So let's get to the very bizarre ending, right? So Nancy defeats Freddy in the long run by doing what Glenn had mentioned earlier and just like turning her back on him.
The power I gave you.
I kind of like it though. I kind of like how
I think you've got a fucking crush, man. I got to tell you.
I
think you've got a Langan crush. A Langan crush.
I like this character. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll do an episode of The Pint. We'll do best final girls ever. And I'm going to spoil it. I think Nancy might be my number one. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Halloween 2018. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to believe that Laurie Strode has lived in fear of Michael Myers for 40 years at that point, and she owns this compound in this house, and she could barely do shit right. She has a room full of random mannequins that can confuse anybody. Nancy, a 15-year-old girl, in 20 minutes makes fucking light bulbs out of fucking out of gunpowder. Like this, she's just better.
She got gunpowder anywhere.
Her dad's a cop.
Yeah, they had shotgun shells.
You just told me your dad doesn't even live there.
He probably look. I'm gonna write.
Oh, when the sheriff moves out, he just leaves all his shotgun shells behind.
John's
here's the
got his
scene.
fan fiction. Hold on.
Here's my fan fiction, okay?
Okay,
Here's
go
the
ahead.
scene.
Shoot.
All right. On the day that he's moving out of the house, he says, "You better stop drinking all that vodka." And she's like, "You get out of here." And he's like, "You got to take care of our girl. I'm going to leave you this shotgun and these 40 shells." All right. Don't use it when you're drunk. I'm always drunk. Ah, God damn it, I hate you. And then he leaves. Okay. Now you got to give it a little range and like Larry, you've been writing, give it like a nice little gloss over. But I tend to think that a sheriff's daughter's house is going to have probably a gun in it.
A couple
somewhere.
shotgun shells.
Couple shotgun shells, and they do show her. She
That's right.
does
You're
have the
right.
shotgun shells. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
All right.
She's fucking crafty, man. She's a McAllister through and through.
She's the original. She's the OG.
Yep.
Can we count Ellen Ripley as a final?
This
girl?
is it. Don't get scared now.
Yeah,
Ellen
no,
Ripley.
Ripley's definitely a final
Yeah,
girl.
she's a final
from-
girl,
Yeah.
100%.
It's a horror movie. She's the last girl left. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's
Tough
final
call
girl.
now. Tough call. All right. So she takes the energy away from Freddy. Freddy disappears. Gone. See you later. Bye. We're done with you.
Yep.
And
Disappears
then,
into like starlight, like he
right.
becomes
Oh
like
yeah.
like a galaxy. He's like,
Yeah. He turns into like fucking who's the character in Marvel Stu? Captain
Eternity?
Universe,
Yeah.
Eternity, or
the Beyonder. He's like the Beyonder.
Captain
think-
Universe. Captain Universe.
Who's the other one? Captain Universe, and then in the JSA, Starman.
Genus Vel? Oh, okay.
Starman. He's Starman. You know, his body is just like a solar system.
Yeah.
So yeah, he disappears, and then as soon as Nancy walks through the door,
We're in
now
the
we-
epilogue.
we go into the epilogue, which is complete. Now we're in Friday the 13th again, where someone's going to be on a boat floating in the middle of the water. Every one of these movies. And I had forgotten about this ending because when Nancy's
How did you
mother
forget
died,
about this ending where Freddy pulls a mannequin through a window?
when Nancy's
like
mother
a
died,
not even a mannequin, but like a blow up doll. Like
Yeah,
a
it's bad.
inflatable. Like it looks like somebody just pulled it out of the pool. Like it was just floating around the pool. They threw a dress on it and just yanked it through a tiny window.
when Nancy's mother died in the actual movie, I was like, shit, I thought her mom lived all the way through the end. I forgot that there's like the reset ending where, you know, and then she even says, like, I don't think I'm going to
She's
drink
like, I
anymore.
want all my.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
I just
Well,
don't
Nancy-
like to.
Before Nancy turns Freddy into a galaxy, he tells her, he's like, I take back everything. I want my friends back.
My
and
mother
blah, blah,
back.
blah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think we're supposed to believe that you know she took the power back, which is a song, isn't it?
Take the
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. That's Rage Against the Machine or something. Anyway, so she took the power back and she got her friends back. And we're supposed to believe that's what, and it was so strong what she did that her mom was fucking, you know, didn't go through any fucking DTs or anything, just stopped
Nothing.
drinking cold turkey and was good. She's like, just poured her fucking shit out in the sink, and she was like, yep.
She literally just says, I just don't think I want to
I
anymore.
just don't want
Yeah.
to anymore.
Yeah,
Wow.
perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how alcoholism works.
If only
just-
Rod had done that with his heroin, perfect. We would have been fucking perfect.
So
yeah, and then
they climb into the car, and all of a sudden there's a malfunction. The convertible goes up. It's Freddy colors, right? It's got the colors of Freddy, and they can't get out. Mom, help! Mom, help! And then, as you
and
said,
she's just smiling because she's still kind of drunk. She just poured away.
no, like she said,
just poured it away. So
she's
she's
not
not
gonna-
sober yet.
she's not going to drink anymore, but she drank last night. You know what I mean?
And she hasn't had time yet to regret pouring out that bottle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, she's still definitely drunk. They're all screaming, and she's like, just like she was in the bed. She's fucking
Say yeah.
yeah. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah, like we get a hand through the little porthole, small porthole in the door, and just the this is how you know it's a mannequin, because the body doesn't bend in any way, shape, or form. It just immediately goes up like this and then goes in, and the movie ends. And I guess a classic is born.
does it end on? I think it ends on the
Girls with the jump
girls-
rope.
Oh
Girls with the
yeah.
jump rope. Yeah.
the nursery rhyme.
Which I guess I didn't write down who wrote the actual lyrics for it, but Heather Langenkamp's boyfriend
She's
at the time,
claimed that it was her boyfriend.
her boyfriend wrote the melody, I guess, and he was
Okay.
a musician of some sort, and it turned out to be her husband. I think they're still married, but
Oh.
so yeah,
Oh,
apparently,
really?
yeah, apparently they had something to do with that song. All right. So we haven't done this in a while, but we're going to do it now. Why don't we do favorite kill time, kids? Now, these don't have as much as the Friday the 13th films, but Stu, what would you say in the long run, is your favorite kill in A Nightmare on Elm Street?
I mean, I would like to go off the board and be avant-garde here, but it's Johnny Depp. I mean, it's Johnny Depp. Does anybody have a pick that isn't Johnny Depp? Like the big fountain of blood? That's awesome. Really? You're both wrong. But that's okay. You can be wrong.
Larry, what's your favorite?
It's Tina.
Tina.
The Tina death, it's fucking jarring because it's, you've seen Freddy and you know that there's a bad guy about, but I mean, that's how he enters our fucking world. Like, the first thing we see is just him fucking whipping this fucking girl around the goddamn room. Her head knocks out fucking Rico Suave, and then just all of a sudden, fucking deep fucking knife cuts on her on her stomach, man. Just like, it's pretty brutal, and it was jarring the first time I saw it. I mean, Johnny Depp's is great and it's fun, but it's also silly. Like, Tina's isn't silly. Tina's is fucking
horrifying.
Scary.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. That's how I took it.
I agree. Joe says Johnny Depp. Anybody else out there want to throw theirs up? Throw it up. Yeah, I agree. I think Johnny Depp's is the most well known.
Okay, so at this point, who votes Rod's death?
Nah, Rod's was lame. Yeah, anybody that votes Rod, just get the fuck out. Go. We love you though.
Yeah,
we love you.
Yeah, but that's it, right? Those are the only kills. 3.
Well, Nancy's mom absconding into the bed.
Maybe Nancy's mom, because is she really dead? I don't know.
Yeah,
because she floated down into the bed and then she was outside again and then she was pulled through the window. I don't know that Freddy just didn't kiss her and go away. I don't know. I don't know if her mom's dead. I have no idea.
Holly says Depp guys are probably Tina, but I think they all work in the movie.
They do,
Yeah. All right. Absolutely. All right. So there aren't a lot of kills in this one, so we can't really ring that bell too long. So let's do what we do, and let's rate this thing. Pint of Horrors. Larry, what are we going to rate this on scale-wise? What are we going to do?
Bottles of vodka?
Bottles of vodka. Bottles of mom's vodka in the laundry chute. All right. So we're going to go usual rules, 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. Quarter and half scale are usable here at the pint. So let's start with I want to know what Larry has to say. Larry, you've said it before, you're not a huge fan of this series.
Yeah.
I would think if there's any of these that would be the one that like most people would vote high, it would be this one. What do you give it?
Yeah. And you're right. I'm not. Oh, look it. I didn't even notice that this was right here. Oh, look. Hi, Freddy. Yeah. So I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise. People have always asked me, hey, when are you going to add Freddy Krueger to your arms? And I don't have any plans to. But that's mainly because of where the series went, not where it began. Because where it began, Nightmare on Elm Street is a really good. You said yourself, the Library of Congress has named it a film of importance, and it is. It really. Listen, Wes Craven made a great horror movie here. This is a hell of a movie. Now, does it make complete sense when it hits a certain point? Not really. As soon as, they started breaking the rules of whether Freddy has power when he's outside of a dream or not, it kind of got a little funky. And then with the mom's skeleton waving and then Nancy walking outside and it going into a whole other, because I still, the movie's 40 years old. I still don't know what the fuck happened. I still don't understand.
And do you know what happens at the end of the Friday the 13th when that same shit happens? You know what I mean? Where it seems like it ends, something happens, then Jason's
did a boy
like,
really come out of the lake? Yeah. What's
going
on?
Yeah.
But at least I have an idea. With this, I still don't. I still don't, because the whole mom thing is so strange. Like, I don't understand why you'd be burned and then now you're a skeleton and Freddy's gone and you're sinking into the bed, which is full of lightning, and none of it really made sense. That aside, still a great movie. Do need a tattoo. That was Marshall Bell, right? I do need a fucking tattoo of him. That's a good call, John. I really still enjoy this movie. It's still scary. It's still disturbing. Freddy hasn't yet gotten to the point where he's a stand-up comedian. He's still, he's got some wisecracks, but it's not. His wisecracks aren't even really funny in this. They're just
No, they're
like, God, this
disturbing.
guy's, this
Yeah.
guy's disturbing. Like this is fucking. And Robert Englund does a great job with this character. For me, on the bottles of vodka scale, it's almost a 5. If it wasn't for the zany fucking ending, it would be a 5. I'm gonna go 4.5.
All right, 4.5. Let's go through some of the friends of the show. Holly gives it 4. Patrick, who based his entire life and career on this film, goes with a 3.5. Eric, good old lovable Eric, this is a 4 for me, tied for my second fave in the series.
I can't wait to see what the
Joe?
other one is. Okay.
Professor Joe gives it a 4. Oh, it's going to be Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Everybody loves that fucking movie.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be
everyone's really gonna fucking hate me when we get there. Then.
Yeah, this is gonna be Friday the
alert.
13th, part 6 again, where it's me and the commentariat against you two assholes.
Oh no, it's not gonna be against me. Trust me. Unless you love it. You love it?
Yeah. Me,
All right.
everybody in the comments, we're all reasonably going to love Dream Warriors, and apparently you two assholes are gonna be like, I hate Joy.
I'm 99% sure that the first time I met Eric at one of Larry's shows, Eric was wearing a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 shirt, if I remember correctly. I have a weird memory for stuff like that, and I think I remember that. Brian gives it a 3.
I'm surprised. I figured Brian would be higher on this.
And I'm opposite Larry. I think the series gets better when it goes more towards fantasy. Okay. Stu, I'll go second. We'll leave the last for Stu. I shadow a lot of what Larry said. I think this is a scary fucking movie. I think, and again, as we did the Friday the 13th, as they went along, they became funnier and funnier and less scary for the most part. But this one right out the gate starts off frightening film, dark, when you got a child murderer involved, it's crazy. And we'll get into this. I won't talk about it too much right now, but like how Freddy became such a huge pop culture character in the 80s, and he was a child killer. You know what I mean? I went as Freddy for like in my 13th Halloween, like 1988 or so, because it was right around the time of part 4. I was really into the movies around that point. I loved that stuff at that point. So it's just really strange. But I think this is just a standalone, really good fucking movie. I agree. What happens at the end? Is it supposed to be dream logic? Are we playing with the bounds of reality? It's doing the horror trope thing where we think the person wins, but did she really? So based on that, I'm going to go with a 4.5. I give this a 4.5. I really enjoy this one quite a bit, and it was great to get to see it on the big screen when Larry showed it a few years ago. It's definitely a great movie. Bonnie, my sister-in-law, Bonnie gets a 2.5. Low, Bonnie. Low. Whoa.
I was going to say, there's a 1 up there. Are we going to talk about that?
John from Shocking Things, the horror cult movie podcast.
Talk about shocking things, John.
Yeah, really,
John. 1 out of 5 for the first Nightmare on Elm Street?
Are you trying to
I'll kill you, you little bitch.
Yeah. I'll make you into a pizza, John.
All
right, Stu, what do you give it?
So Larry, wait, you had 4.5?
Yeah.
Had a 4.5. So okay, the first time ever we have the exact same score. I also give this a 4.5. I think it's ridiculous how well this movie has aged. Like you watch it now, and it's just as good as it ever was. And I agree with what you do. The last 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, like even a little bit before the epilogue, I don't like that the ending is Nancy going, I don't believe in you anymore, Santa. And that's how she wins, which I think that's stupid. And then, the epilogue, which I watched the movies series on this, and apparently the epilogue is like an accident. They filmed a bunch of different endings and they released the wrong one. Like this wasn't the ending they wanted to be the ending. Like for the first showing, they happened to tack the wrong ending on it.
Well, I have all the endings on this one right here.
Competence. That's competence in filmmaking right there. We released the wrong one.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch that episode again, but I think it was while the movie was airing, they hadn't put the end on yet. And so somebody had to go running into the film section room, like stick the ending on it, and it was the wrong one that they wanted. But no, it's great. I mean, it looks great considering what The Hills Have Eyes and The Last House on the Left look like, where they look like amateur films. This looks very polished and professional. The camera angles are great. I think it's ridiculous how well this movie has aged. It's 4.5 for me.
All right, Stu, can you, as we did last time, keep these going,
Yes.
the scores? Okay. And John just comes back and saves himself. My
okay.
feed is screwed up and just caught the end. I thought you asked what's your favorite.
Oh,
Original
okay.
is 5. All right, John. We were all thinking
We
you
were
said
very,
1.
very scared for a second there.
I was immediately going to stop following you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Stop being friendly with you.
I even said talk about shocking things.
Yeah, really. I was a little
1.
disappointed. All right, let's go into a couple things real quick before we leave. Let's see. Check out the latest Pint of Comics. The episode that is out right now is it's an SFA 80s episode. We talked about a movie called Arena. If you've not checked that out, check it out. It's a quick episode too, because the movie really there wasn't much to talk about. But this week, episode 236, Larry, myself, Lloyd, and Larry's buddy Sean from HorrorNerdOnline.com. Check that out. We talked about Predator, the 35th anniversary. Very cool to talk about that. It's one of those movies I've always wanted to do a show on. So that was a lot of fun. I'm going to put something down here on the bottom that I want everybody to take a look at. If you can, go to www.patreon.com/thepint. In case you don't know, we have a Patreon now. We're putting out a good amount of extra content. So if you like the show as it is, it's a good way to get some. You get some video content, some audio content. Larry and I did a show on Over the Edge, the 1979 Matt Dillon film. Stu and I have done a couple of episodes. We're doing Patreon requests. We've been getting those done, and it's $2.50 a month for all that. I'm trying to send out stickers. I'm trying to do all different kinds of things. Patreon themselves tell you not to go below $3. So I've got the one tier, trying to make it super affordable. And as this month's special bonus feature, if you join this month, I'm sending you Stu's cat, whatever cat that is he's holding. I'm going to ship it to your ass. And he's in Pittsburgh. So
he's
on
a diet, so you have to really handle him. He's 19 pounds, and he is.
I'm gonna have to poke holes.
That yelled at us.
I'm gonna have to poke holes in the
He's
box.
Not a big belly.
Throw a couple.
Goodness.
I don't know what cats. Throw a couple of rats.
I want to rub that belly.
All right. So
does
Holly,
if they sign up for the Patreon, do they get any chance of falling in quicksand or no?
No, I don't think so.
Depends on how many wet dreams you've had on the beach that day.
Yes.
All right. Fair
Proud to be a Pint patron. Thank you, Patrick, so much. Thank you, everybody that is. And even if you're not cool, anyways. Bullshit.
You know
what? That is right. It is right. It's only $2.50.
Don't ship the cat with UPS. Yeah, Chester weighs 19 pounds. With UPS, that would cost like $58.
Yeah, it would cost like $158 because I already know that $58 is a couple T-shirts. Happy birthday to Larry's cat Tanner. I don't know why Lindsay knows that Larry's cat's birthday is today.
Oh, it is. Oh,
okay.
Happy birthday, Tanner. Tanner is that would make Tanner 17.
Oh
wow.
He's only 17.
Stu says he's too young, but he's old
enough
enough
me. 17. Stu's cat is adorable, John says. I don't know. Now, do you mean that, John, or did you mean ugly? Because when you gave Nightmare on Elm Street a 1 the last time, I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what to believe anymore. All right. So besides that, 15th anniversary for Hot Fuzz. You know what? Is this the 15th anniversary? Brian, we will do that show. We will do that show just for you. I love you, Brian. 15th anniversary Hot Fuzz. Plus, it gives me.
Here's what I need to tell the people. Fuzz. I have a list of shows that John has said, "Oh, we're gonna do that."
Oh, me too. Oh God.
But wait a minute.
Yeah,
we get around.
We're supposed to do the whole Andy Sedaris fucking.
That's gonna
catalog.
happen. That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. All right, Walken, calm down.
Larry,
remember the best 90s albums that my wife was gonna do?
We are going to do that. Lloyd wanted to do that one. He was off the show forever.
Sometime between the heat death of the universe and now.
Stu, let me tell you, right? I have a lot of ideas. They're always going in my head. I have a lot of ideas. I just want to get stuff out there. Eric, you are a patron. You want 10th anniversary of Cabin in the Woods? Yes. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. That's right.
I forgot. I have all these Freddy Krueger stickers.
Oh Lord!
In its original box.
Hey guys, I don't really like this series at all, but I've got all the ephemera for it.
I've got a stuffed animal and a pop and some stickers.
Bunch of stickers in its original fucking case. I bet you this is worth like at least $6.
Go
maybe?
check Larry out at horrornewsnetwork.net. You can always find him here on Pint of Comics. We do the Scary Larry's Pint
I'm
of
always
Horrors
there.
episodes.
I'm always there.
Yeah, real quick. The month of May, next month,
Yeah.
we are finishing off the Pint of Horror season 2. And so the 4 episodes you'll be getting next month we're going to be talking about One Cut of the Dead with Stu. We're going to be doing Hatchet. We'll be doing what else we have? Rubber, which we're re-recording because I lost that episode. And we will be doing what was the other one? Shit. Teeth. Yes, Teeth. Oh no. Teeth is coming out this month.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Shit.
What are we
One Cut of the
missing?
Dead, Rubber, Hatchet.
Allure?
No,
No.
it wasn't the lore. It did not.
God damn it!
Fuck, I can't remember
Cabin
now.
in
But
the
anyway,
Something else. It's
Something
definitely
else.
something else.
something else will be coming
American
your way.
Mary.
You'll love it.
No, it was not American Mary.
Whatever it is.
So we'll be
It'll
doing
great.
that, and then we'll be moving into Scary Larry's season 3, which is going to be a short season, 5 or 6 episodes, and it's going to be Larry's choice of movies that did not win the votes. So it's going to be kind of like all the one. So you're going to hear the lore. The lore is going to fucking happen.
Yes.
All right.
We should do it right now.
The lore's
Stu,
gonna happen.
cue it up. Let's watch it.
Holly, the lore will happen.
We're doing it, Holly. It's happening.
Yeah, we should do a top 10 episode of episodes John says he's going to do. That is true. That is absolutely true.
That's great. That's a
No,
good
don't.
idea.
I did not forget. I've got them written down. The visitor will be happening as well. I did not forget.
What
all right.
are some of the ones you told me that we're going to do?
A lot. I know it's a lot. There was a couple comic ones that we talked about.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. I know. Guys, I know. Look, I work like 70 hours a week, and I only have so much time to actually record and do shows. So I have fun with it, and I have a lot of ideas. And then it's like, tomorrow night we're recording, me and Lloyd are recording Aliens. We're doing Aliens for Alien Day, LV426. And there's the other cat that we get to send out. So go check Larry out there. Everybody, thank you so much for listening and watching SWO Productions. Stu, what is the next episode coming out on the 12th of this month? What are we looking forward to?
It is either Dread or Red. Those are the next 2 episodes that are coming out in April. Dread and Red, but I forget which order they're coming out in.
You know what? I think I don't know what happened there. Larry, you were frozen.
Oh my God, there's 2
No,
Larrys. There's 2 Larrys at the bottom.
No, I didn't freeze. I left by accident.
Dude, I'm
And
keeping that up there. Oh, it's gone.
God.
Freddie pulled me through a window. I
It's
turned into a mannequin. A mannequin, and then like the mannequin from the movie, The Mannequin, and Freddie pulled me through the window. But we're safe now.
All right.
We're
All right.
We're back.
Oh, that's 2 Larrys. I'm your Larry now, Owen.
All right. So until next time, where we talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I would say, hey, if you want to hear older opinions, go back and find the episode. We did that episode. So this is the first time we'll ever be covering something at second.
Was that
time.
like the first one I ever did? That was the first
your-
one you ever let me choose.
That was your Pint Movie Invitational episode.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're like,
okay.
go ahead and choose one. I was like,
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Yay!
And then you picked the Greasy Strangler.
Oh, fuck. That's the best movie, one of the best movies of all time.
You know what I say to that, Larry? You're a bullshit artist.
I am not a bullshit artist.
Everybody out
Bullshit
there, thank
artist.
you so much. This has been awesome fun. See ya.
Bye.